Sam, I cut the cord to my ring light right
Oh
before.
no!
Look at that right there, that fray.
Oh, what happened? Was it just
Dude,
laying
I
on
was
top
trying to adjust it, and I guess it was hung up, wrapped around where the cord is. And
Oh, that's bad luck.
good night, good fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, right out of the gate. So originally I had the dragnet light on me, like interrogation live.
Yeah.
So had to resort to desktop. For you guys that are in the chat, you're getting the behind the scenes look about John. Got the definite behind the scenes look when my camera fell down and all kinds of stuff right before you guys got here. So
it looked like a little tornado went through there right quick.
yeah, needless to say, we are professionals. We
I believe you.
Yeah.
It's only our second rodeo.
Yeah, right. One of those things. You never know. So we have Richard in the house, and good to see him here. First one in here in the chat. And then Brian, Tri Flippers, good to have you, bro. Nikki T dropping in. Thanks for coming by. Joe, Philly Picker. Good to have you.
Hi, buddy Joe.
What's going on, everybody?
Cernock. Man, Cernock has been my listing buddy here the past couple of long lives. He actually did a hat tutorial for a little while, gave me a break, chance to eat a sandwich. So I appreciate you, Red. Little Debbie dropping in.
Some good knowledge too, man. I learned how to do a little hat surgery that day.
Yeah, he's the hat guru, that's for sure. Sean Bargain Resells, thanks for coming by. Harry Humstone, Mr. 2 and 2, good to see you, bro. I'll be on the lookout for you tomorrow for that military lantern. Scooter G, thanks for coming by. Miss Emily Conway in the house, thanks for being here. Amy's Epic Stuff for Sale. Amy, thanks for having me on today. Me and Amy did a little listing here for a couple hours this afternoon. So always good to have a listing partner. And my chat just jumped. Aaron, Rebel Junk, thanks for coming in. So, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. Obviously, tonight, as always, I have my co-host, Sam the Dapper Tiger, always keeping things straight over here on the scrolling side and filling in where I lose the sight of and track of. And we are so happy to have John DC Picker with us tonight. So,
good evening. Thank you. The pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much for having me. I think we could do an intro golf clap. Intro. This is like my move. When I'm behind the microphone, thank you guys. Thank you all. Thank you for the folks that are in the chat. Thanks for being here.
Switch sides
out there.
You do that round of applause?
Generally, because there's so many wires over here, I'm kind of just trapped in this little zone here.
What, you don't want to cut your O-ring light?
No. I've seen what happens.
I
have seen what happens.
No doubt. Frank, thanks for coming by. Ken, thanks for dropping in. Good to have you as well. So, John, if you'd give a brief introduction, I'm sure a lot of these people probably know who you are, but
some do and some don't. Ford Pinto, I recognize that name. Rebel Junk, I recognize. Some names I recognize in the chat, some I don't. Special thank you again to the people in the chat. Thank you to the people that are watching on the replay. My name is John. I go by the DC Picker here on YouTube and Instagram. I am a reseller here in the nation's capital, hence the DC. I've been buying and selling on eBay since 1999, so roughly 21 years. It'll be 21 years in December. I'm by myself. I run solo. I do all sorts of things, mostly garage sales, thrifting, and store buyouts, sort of things. I also have a YouTube channel where I do a live show, and I randomly post videos about reselling. So Sam has been on. I usually do it on Saturday nights, and the reason why I do it on Saturday nights is because people are usually done with their week on Saturday nights.
Right.
So when I go off on tangents about the inevitable tangent that I go on, I don't really feel bad that we're not specifically talking about reselling. We'll tie it in somehow, maybe.
Yeah.
But we have a adult conversation. It will be PG. I promise. I will keep it PG. But if you're interested in adult reselling, not adult things, but an adult reselling show, I have a show here on YouTube on Saturday nights.
Yeah.
I mean, most famously, my favorite FTG
is the FTG. Yeah.
So
if nothing else comes out of the show, it's my most proud moment is I punctuate the show, and usually by de facto the week with an FTG. We're gonna keep it PG. It's F that guy. It's someone who screwed me over or messed with me throughout the week, and we'll talk about it. But it's like it's a catharsis for me. Once I get it off my chest, it no longer bothers me. We get a laugh out of it. We laugh at them, and then that chapter is closed in my book. So it's more about me than it is really the person.
And to be a part of that closure, I think it's hilarious.
It's worth it. I mean, every one of you guys that are listening are just as important in my mental well-being at the end of the week. Once I get this off my chest. So thanks so much for being there. When we drop the FTG.
So you have a reseller therapy session going on then at the end of the show, right?
Yeah. And you know what? It's not just me either. If I have a guest on, I'm more than happy with having a guest FTG. I'm more than happy with it. Did somebody screw you over? Let me know about it. I want to hear it. And then we could drop them. We get it off our chest, almost like a verbal Viking funeral. And that's it. They're gone. We don't have to think about them anymore.
Moving on.
That's it.
Good to see Miss Annie in the chat. Thanks for coming by. I have a quick, guys. I'm pushing on the 1K. It is my show, so I guess selfless promotion is one of those things.
Do it.
So Sam. Sam's getting pretty close himself, but I am going to be doing a giveaway at 1K. There'll be. But some of you guys have asked, so we're going to be talking about that at the end of the show and tomorrow's video. So stay tuned for that. But as we get into this thing with John, so tell us a little bit about eBay 20 years in the making.
Well, everyone has the story about. Back in the old days, you used to hold on to your items and wait for the personal check or the money order to come. One of the more, striking ways, and it's kind of now this reference is even becoming dated. I've been on eBay before PayPal was. That's how different it was. It was one picture. Again, all business is done by the mail. It was difficult, and now I laugh now excuse me, when people are like, oh, I gotta go to manage payments, this is an outrage. Bro, the things that I've seen over the years, they have to be put into context because I can't remember them all throughout the years. A lot of people, all that being said, I am such an eBay homer, meaning that's my home team, that they really got to mess up to get on my bad side. And I've transitioned to managed payments. It is what it is. It's fine. It was just another bump in the road. But I hear people their fees are too high and they're this and they're that. Man, I've been with this team for so long. I've made so much money for them. I've made so much money for myself that I'm gonna carry this flag almost forever. They're really gonna have to screw me over before I turn my back on eBay.
Yeah.
Box 30 fan wants to know if it was auction. It was all auctions back then.
It's funny. I still have people.
Sorry.
Yeah. Now I was gonna say I still have people that talk to me on eBay. They're always like, I just can't do the auction thing. I was like, I can't do the auction thing either.
It's been 15 years.
Yeah.
Seriously.
That's what they get known by.
But and that's something else too. I mean, it's kind of a generational thing where you'll have older people say, I can't do the auctions, and younger people will say things along the lines of, well, I can't deal with all the knockoffs. Because in the mid 2000s, eBay was knockoff central. You were getting knockoff everything on eBay. There was very little regulation, so you'll have people saying things nowadays like, "Oh, well, I don't want to go get knockoffs." And I said, "Hey, listen, there's an entire a huge community here of people who are reselling. We're not selling knockoffs. We're using eBay as our vehicle. That's not really the case anymore. eBay has done a good job, not a great job, but a good job of cleaning that up. So when we're talking in the context of reselling, it's cliche, but I like to use new boxes. I like to put a handwritten note in it. I like to put all my items in poly bags just to give it that little extra, that little thing to let them know this is a person. I'm a person. I'm a small business. You helped put shoes on a little girl by your sale. I'm not that corny with it, but to kind of change the atmosphere of what the public perception of eBay is, and we're part of that directly. Every one of us who is a reseller who does this more than just selling things off their shelf that they don't want to deal with anymore. Anyone who does this for more than a hobby, you're helping that reputation.
Yeah.
And I'm a big proponent of treating your customers right, doing what's right, and getting back to it. A lot of my there have been a couple FTGs that have been resellers or sellers on eBay where you'll get it. I received an item that was in a White Castle cheeseburger box. That's how my item showed up.
Oh yeah. I remember you talking about that.
And I had one. I don't remember exactly, but the person had like 100,000 feedbacks.
Jeez.
And they didn't actually package the item in anything. They just put the label on the item and sent it out the door. Like, those are the things that could sully a potential either follow-up customer or another user of the platform. So when I'm talking about reselling, it is really about giving it your all, using a fresh box. Really, is it really that big of a deal? You couldn't get the free boxes from the postal service. You had to use a cheeseburger box.
That's the same guy who parks and takes up 2 spots. It's like, no, good enough.
I'm stopped.
Yeah, I think the same thing. It's crazy. I owned a Subway for a little while, and obviously that's drilled in your brain, right? Like, you represent a brand. And the more people that you give a good experience to the brand, the more people come to the brand. Right. And that's kind of what I think with eBay as well. Is there's people that are bashing everything about it, and you hear all that negative, but it's like, man, I mean, negative basically brings more negative, right? Like, it definitely, it's almost like a magnet. And you see negative people hang out with negative people because it's like a magnet. Like, they're about to have a bonfire. Like, they're all thrown through the flame. But
and the way that, I don't know, society, it's corny to say society, but the way that society is now, everyone thinks of Amazon. Oh, it's great. Well, the difference between eBay and Amazon at this point, it really is the service times. Because if you punch in anything on eBay, your first one is going to be a legitimate one, and then you're going to have 12 pages of knockoffs, kind of the way that eBay used to be. But everyone's going to go for Prime, and they might pay an extra $1 and get your thing Prime, or join the be a member and pay so and so $100 a month, a year for it. To get that Prime service. That being said, if you do one business day handling or less, you're gonna beat eBay, or you're gonna beat Amazon. Just as they're using roughly the same services. That comes with a caveat. I understand they have their own vans and stuff like that, but a head-to-head, you're in the hands of the Postal Service. So people who are resellers and are serious about it, and they're like, well, I got a 4-day handling time. Like, what? That's the craziest thing I ever heard. Like, this is a direct way that you can prop up the platform for all of us, provide an equal or sometimes better. I get feedback that says this thing is you're faster shipper than Amazon, and I think we could all do that. It does. That's the biggest dog in the fight and in the game right now, and we could beat them. I think most people are capable of doing that. You're gonna have some people that aren't. I understand.
And it's tough too, from a YouTube standpoint, because it's not so sexy to talk about those soft skills. There's those little finer details that, because I don't hear you complaining about, gosh, how do you get people to give you feedback faster or anything like that? It's drop a note in and make them feel like a human being. They feel good. Actually, they got something in the mail that wasn't a bill. or something that was marketed to them.
Right.
And I made them feel good just thanking them for, doing something for me.
Exactly.
Everybody wins. So
exactly. When you do it right, you don't have to ask. You're absolutely right. Now, there are great channels on YouTube, but I wouldn't say rely on learning all of your reselling skills on just one. I think the polybag idea I stole from Casey Rockstar Flipper, it was just put it in a poly bag. So like for like $14 a quarter, I get 1 million bags and I just go through them and it makes it look nice. I sell a lot of like vitamin-y type things. It's better than just sticking it in an envelope. Just taking that extra second, it might cost you 1/10 of a penny, and it just makes that little bit of difference. One day handling time, I think, was a Craigslist Hunter thing. Like, and then eventually it became business sense with the top rated. But even when I wasn't top rated, when I was out and I was trying to get back in, it's just, okay, well, what do I do? Well, you take a lot from a lot of different resellers.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you want to build your feedback. Like, I know for me, like, I'm up to like, I've only been doing this since September last year and got serious about it in the spring. But, prior to that, and even now, my number one feedback is if the item's packed well and gets there on time. That's like number one. Probably like 80% of the feedback is item arrives safely and on time. Like one or the other. Like
Which is what we want.
Yeah.
I don't want... I hope this makes sense. I don't want feedback about the item. I'm a picker. I don't know what I'm going to have. So when you write, oh, this was a great item, that doesn't really help a potential buyer. But if you write a feedback for the service, that could be a difference maker.
Yeah.
I like those packed well and shipped fast and fast delivery. I like those. Those are the ones that might separate you from, whatever goes on in the customer's mind. You might be to the penny the same price, and the other person has 2-day business handling. You have one and good feedback about the service, not the items.
Yeah.
That could get you the sale.
Yeah, man. Make them feel good about buying.
Glock 30 fan says Amazon had things show up in 6 hours. I live in Washington. Or outside of Washington, and we have the Amazon HQ2 going in. It's right out the window over here, and we have things that they show up in the middle of the night. I don't know if you guys have that, but we have middle of the night delivery. They call it, I forget what they call it, but like it'll be there by 4 a.m. on your doorstep. It's pretty, they got some things that are unbeatable.
Yeah, it is. Like we have that with like Raleigh, Durham area. I think Sean's in the chat. He lives like maybe 30, 40 minutes from there. But like here in North Carolina, man, Raleigh, Durham, like they have acreage warehouse up there. Like you look at it and it's so huge. And they're like, I can get something from Amazon in 2 hours. I was like, that's nuts.
Yeah.
But you can't get everything from Amazon in 2 hours. Just like, staple items.
Right.
You can get that.
Right.
But
I got something. I ordered something. As Sam knows, I'm in the process of buying a farm. I'm leaving the city and moving out to the farm. So once a week I buy like a new tool or replace some broken tools that I have, because I know that I'm up against this 100-year-old house and reno. And some things they say Prime, but with a straight face they'll tell you arriving September 25th. And you're like, that's not Prime. That's not really Prime. You should be able to call it that. But they do, and I just live with it. But I've only noticed that recently because my level of Amazon orders has really gone up. That said, all the actual power tools, all my DeWalt stuff comes from eBay. I'd like to support eBay folks.
Well,
Justin, thanks for dropping in. He was our guest last week. Thanks for coming in. And Brian, North Carolina shout out. Brian lives in Raleigh, Durham area, so I know with got some North Carolina peeps in the house.
So Eric, where in the Outer Banks are you?
You know where Roanoke Island is, like Manio?
I do. I was gonna say you have the Manio accent.
Yeah, my dad's originally from Wanchese. So
okay. We get
that's where I live.
Wanchese over there.
Wanchese, yeah.
Yeah.
Other side of Roanoke Island. Yeah.
We go to that seafood distributor. What's that big seafood distributor there?
Etheridge or Daniels. One of the two.
Oh, it might be Daniels. I think it is.
Yeah, they used to have Fisherman Wharf Restaurant right there on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one we go to.
Yeah, that's where I live, bro. Like next time you're in this area, man, hit me up.
Yeah, we were there this week last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we stayed Kill Devil Hills for a couple weeks. My buddy's got a house there, and then we went down to whatever that is there. I forget. One of them towns.
Ken, Island Homesteader, who's in here, Ken lives in Hatteras. He actually lives in Frisco, Buxton, Frisco area. Like
Frisco is my first experience. So, if you don't mind, I'm gonna go off on a tangent.
Yeah, go ahead.
In the year 2001, I bought my first Jeep Wrangler, my first TJ, and me and my buddy went to the dealership. We said, give us 2 Jeeps. We bought 2 Jeeps, and we're like, okay, well, now we have Jeeps, and we need to drive on the beach. Like, we lived on the Jersey Shore. There was no reason we couldn't have just, hopped over something. No, we need to drive on the beach. So we drove as long and as far as we could. I think we said we'd do 2 tanks of gas. Wherever the second tank of gas was, we were going to stop. And it ended up being a campground that's still there in Frisco. And we slept on the beach for, I don't know, 3 or 5 days or something. And drove our Jeeps all up and down the beach like we were in Baywatch. And I never forgot that. So I had such a good time. It was fantastic. And I never forgot that. So time goes on. And my family, I get married, I have a family, and they're like, well, where do you want to go on vacation? I said, I know exactly where I'm going. I know exactly where I'm going. 20 years later, I'm going down to Frisco and Hatteras and all these places.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same. Nothing has changed. It's exactly all the storms, it's all exactly the same.
Yeah. We didn't fall off in the ocean in that period of time, regardless of what some people like to think.
Yeah.
Ken, you're talking about doing the farming thing. My buddy Ken, Island Homesteader, if you watch his channel, it's all about farming. It's all about homesteading. He raises bees, does all that kind of stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So he's actually a good friend with a guy. He's fixing to go. I think Ken, the same week that I'm going to the 411, he's going out to this guy. Ken, drop that guy's name. Justin, the guy out in Asheville, who's like a big time homesteader. Like he makes a living doing YouTube, but homesteading, that's all he does.
Okay. I probably watch him.
He wears a cabbie hat and a leather apron all the time.
Oh yeah, I do. I know that guy.
He's
I joined his website so I could see him shoot a pig.
What?
Yeah, well, he couldn't post it on YouTube. It went against like the violence standard or whatever. So it was like, log into my website. I'll show you the video there. And he showed it, and I was not that I'm interested, and we talked about this on my show. There's going to be some animal harvesting. I'm not a hunter. I'm a catch and release guy. But if I want to go in, I'm in for a penny. Justin Rhodes. That's it. I did find that guy about harvesting a pig. Absolutely. Yeah, I remember that.
Dang. Well, did he shoot it or like with a bolt gun?
Oh no, he blasted in the head with a shotgun.
Holy smokes!
Yeah. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't on YouTube. But
yeah.
He did show it on his website. It wasn't gratuitous. It was very matter of fact. It was like an hour and a half. A long video, I think, or an hour long. It was very informative. And then you start making a. There's tons of pig shootings on YouTube. May not be monetized, but it's done. Yeah, this wasn't like long range through a scope on a Texas ranch. This was up close and personal. GoPro like right in the zone, and I don't know. It was his
with
decision
a shotgun.
to do it. It wasn't. I tell you what. It wasn't gratuitous at all. It was not. It was a loud noise and it was over. And we were like, okay.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it was not.
It's not like a fanfare, like weird thing out of it. Yeah.
Nah. No, not at all. I know this is Eric's channel, right?
This is Eric's channel.
All right. So.
But yeah, I think he'll pop. We'll just hang out and just destroy it. I mean, but hit the thumbs up, guys. Oh, there he is. What's going on, man?
Yeah, so Ken's the moderator in that thing. I don't know whether you got that or not, but he actually is the moderator for that guy and knows that guy for a while.
Awesome.
He actually goes when that guy goes and does this big show in October. He goes out there and
like works his booth and all that kind of stuff. So
Cool.
any rate, if you're into farming, check out Ken's channel.
I'm going to. I'm
Yeah.
definitely into it. I've been splitting my time educationally on YouTube between fixing up the house and then we're gonna end up moving in probably in the dead of winter, but I mean spring is right around the corner and we're gonna start doing some stuff with the land. It's kind of why we're doing it. So I'm learning a little bit about farming, a lot of bit about carpentry and finished carpentry, because anybody could nail two pieces of wood together, but to have it look right is a skill unto itself.
For sure.
So you figuring out a coping saw? Is that what
the thing is as I was growing up and I was in construction, as most young guys are, you're not a finished carpenter, you're not a journeyman, you're not a
that's
finished
the
plumber.
OGs doing that.
Yeah. So a lot of my stuff was metalwork, was welding. Like I always told my son, like, I'll teach you how to weld, but when we get into this wood stuff, it like changes dimension. I can never do good with the wood. So now I have to I'm learning those skills again.
Yeah, that takes some time, that stuff. I can't never cut crown molding. That's the one that gets me jacked up, man.
I put crown molding and folding a fitted sheet in the same category. There are some people that can do it, and those people are witches.
Yeah. They got some wizardry going on for sure.
They do.
But
they do.
Yeah. Hey guys, so if anybody has any questions in the chat, excluding shooting pigs in the head, we get Louis like, hey, did you pass out? Is that why the camera cut out? No, my camera is just probably from the fall it took before I got on the on this live. But
testing its durability.
There we go. Well, it's a knockoff from Amazon, so it's probably not too like one of them things.
It was like Beetlejuice. I called it out. It was like, I'll show you. Knockoff.
Yeah. So John, I mean, how do you think where do you think you're gonna take your YouTube with going on to the farm?
So I hemmed and hawed about it when I was gonna like make a new video, and this kind of dovetails nicely into what you guys were saying, how you're about to broach 1,000, and I'll get to your answer, I promise. As you hit the 1,000 to become monetized, if I could give you a piece of unsolicited friendly advice, don't monetize your channel right away. Because I was making videos, at one point I was making a video a day, then it went every couple of days, then it went every couple of weeks, and now it's every month, and now I used to do a lot. When the monetization hit, it was such the brass ring. Like, what does the dog do if it actually catches the car? I finally got monetization.
Yeah.
And you put the same level of work in that you do as before you were monetized, and then you put out a video and you see that it makes 8 cents, 9 cents, 12 cents, and you're like, why am I doing this? And I understand it's a snowball, and you hear all the YouTube people and they talk about it, and that's great when you're making $10,000 a month off of YouTube, and those are platitudes that come around like, oh yeah, it's worth it. But in the real world where I'm working full time. I am reselling, which could arguably just be as much full time. And then you throw the YouTube on top of it. You go, I have to trim one of these out. Is it the thing that's going to make me $60 an hour or $200 an hour or 8 cents for 4 hours?
Yeah.
And that's until you have a really, really big following, or at least a decent following, I would suggest not monetizing so you don't go through the same mental heartache that I went through. All that being said, I didn't want to change the name. I didn't want to give up my monetization that I did work so hard for. And one of the things that Mama and I said about the farm is that we were going to put, I wanted more of an orchard style than like a corn style farm. So I could still be the DC picker. It's just going to be apples and not thrift stores. And the people who are here will follow the journey, and the people who aren't, I welcome them all the same. There's still going to be reselling content because the store, the farm, the house has a whole reselling room already stocked up, racked out, ready to run. So it's not going to it's not really going to change. The frequency obviously is going to go down when the move actually does happen, if that's even possible. Then further down than it is now. But then I really do anticipate doing daily or semi-daily or whatever it is, a couple times a week uploads, keeping you guys informed. It's going to be fun. It's an adventure. This is the way that we wanted to do it. Mama and I have a pretty decent social media following, and we just said we're gonna do it. We're gonna pull the social media people along with us, and get some unsolicited advice from folks like, oh, you cut that crown molding all wrong. I'll go, okay, tell me how to do it. Silly things. So I want to bring you guys along for the journey. At this part, man, it's just getting mortgage paperwork is terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. So will you be in like Virginia area? Is that where you're headed?
I'd rather not say, but I'll be within a 40-mile radius of the city.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll be within a 35-minute drive of my office.
Yeah, I know a lot of people in northern Virginia, southern Maryland, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know that's
I'll be in that area. I'm in that area.
So man, it's it's cool though. I was telling my wife the other day, one cool thing about reselling is, outside of sourcing, like finding someplace to source, like, dude, you can pretty much do it from anywhere. Like, I mean, if you got a place to source, if you got some connection some kind of way, I mean, worst comes to worst, you drive up to one of our guests we had on a few weeks ago, Mr. Buys a Lot, and say, hey, I need to restock my shed. Like, what do you got? What do you got up here?
Yeah.
But I mean, there's that we talk about that all the time because, like, you can find a place and make that a part of what it is that you're doing. So
yeah, and being that I'm only roughly going to be going about, like I said, about 35 minutes outside the city, all of my network is still here. We all have guys, or we get guys. My guys are here, centralized to the city. I still work in the city, so a lot of those connections that I made are going to be, instead of I'll meet you at 7 o'clock, I'll meet you at 3 o'clock when I'm done with work, type of things where we just things will change. Reselling is not a small part of my income. Like, I'm not just going to buy this place and go, oh, well, I'm done being the DC picker. Like, I need the DC picker more than ever.
Yeah. Well, and that's for those of you guys who don't know, John had told me on his show that it was either a trip to Hawaii for this farm, but funded by reselling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
and that's 100% true. We had saved a bunch of money to go on a trip to Hawaii. Guy stuff or whatever. I had this weird dream where I wanted, not dream, but like this goal to walk on a volcano with my son. He's 5. Like, he wouldn't know if it was the beach or the volcano.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to do it. And Mama was like, okay, whatever, weirdo. So we saved up a bunch of money to want to go walk on a volcano. And then we got Wuhan and the trip got canceled. So we had this pool of money, and I said, let's go put a down payment on a house. Let's go, take this, and we'll take a little bit extra money and go and buy a house. And that's what we ended up doing. So it's a different adventure. There'd be no volcanoes, hopefully, but it'll be it's gonna be an adventure nonetheless.
Yeah.
Louis, man. What are you talking about? Louis said he wants to move to Cuba. Go source and film there for a year. Okay.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
That'll be different.
I did see Island Homesteader say that they moved two hatters from Warrenton 30 years ago.
Yeah.
I could probably speak with confidence. Warrenton probably looks the same way it did 30 years ago. Warrenton is the country.
There you go. There you go.
Good job.
Yeah. That's what Richard was saying. Obviously buying a house is a little bit more permanent thing than a trip, but
yeah. I get these ideas sometimes. Sometimes they stick, and sometimes they don't. And
hey, man.
Glock 30 fan says, "Guy stuff. What's that? It seems like a yeah. I'm married with 2 kids. I don't have a lot of guy stuff around. I don't. I try. And now my son is he's getting a little bit older. He just turned 5. So
there you go.
He's like a little person now. So I get to like take him along. I'm like, buddy, we're going to the gun store. Don't tell mom. And he's like, all right. He doesn't know what that is.
There you go.
Can I drive in the front seat? Yeah, just don't tell mom. Like all these little things.
Dude,
I'm starting to feel it again.
That's awesome.
Yep, Sam's not too far behind. A couple more years.
It goes so fast.
Yeah,
If I'm going hunting for a video game after this, I'm like, oh, do I take him or do I not?
Nah, you got him. You got him. I started taking my son out with me, not to gun stores, but I started taking my son out solo, like almost as soon as he was done breastfeeding. So like right around 2, and that was it. Like we would just go off on adventures.
That sounds
They're
awesome.
grown when they can keep a secret from mom. Yeah, yeah.
Whoopsie.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. So Larry's talking about that he has some family there. That's cool, man. Yeah, I'm sure there is a lot of stuff there. Yeah, my kids unfortunately are way past the going out and hanging out. I have a 25 and a 23-year-old, so they're
Okay.
on their own. They both live in Hatteras, though. Like that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine it's a little different. If they're still, you said they're still local, you could still do things with them. I mean, I hang out with my dad.
It's just different. Like
it is different.
Crazy. Like my youngest played college athletics, so we traveled all over the place with her when she was in college. Like she was a volleyball player, so we got to travel all like southeast pretty much. With that, but that was fun. But like once all that comes to a halt, you're kind of like, okay, now plan B. Let's see what's next.
Yeah. Well, they got to.
So we get to go to yard sales and hang out with people.
I take my son. I take my son out. We call it crapping or junking. I take him out. We go out and he'll find things. Yeah. Hopefully, I'll make enough profit to cover the stupid trinket toy that he wants, but it makes him happy. It's a little adventure. I try not to cleave them out of anything really specifically. I'll try to bring them along with any of my dumb adventures as much as possible.
Yeah.
Tim, man, you're killing me. In their 20s, it's more of I won't tell mom if you give me 20.
Yeah.
Hustling, yeah.
It's more expensive.
Hey, my youngest has been doing that since she was young, man. She's been hustling like that since she was young.
Good for her. Smart kid. You raised her right. Good job.
Yeah, she's a trip like that. She'd tell her grandparents that kind of stuff, man. But the other thing I will say this, she'd look out for her bigger sister there all the time. So like my dad, when she was real little, my dad would take her around. My dad's a pastor, and like so he would take her around visiting with him. And like, older people always giving her stuff. Like her sister's in school. So older people would give her like a little stuffed animal. She'd be like, excuse me, I'm gonna need one more of those. and they're like, for my sister. Now, as to whether her sister ever got what she got for her, now that might be another thing. That's the kind of stuff that they had going on. It's funny.
Hilarious.
But got Jeff in the house, eBay Addicts. Thanks for coming in.
So I guess a little pivot here. I guess John is an inspiration for growing a channel without showing your face. For a good. I mean, how long did it go?
About 500 subscribers.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
500 subscribers. Time wise, about 6 months. About 6 months or so. Yeah. I started it. It was never a fear thing. It was not a fear. I'm obviously not afraid to get in front of the camera. I never was. I have a job where I wasn't allowed to. I needed to have a hearing before I came out and said, and I have to make sure that there's no connection between my 9 to 5 and what goes on in DC Picker World, which I do. I think I do a pretty good job of. But it did take a while for that hearing to happen. And as my Instagram was going up, so many people were messaging me like, man, you got to start a YouTube. So I started it, and I said, well, damn the man, but I'm not that much of a rebel. So I did a hand channel. For, I would say about 6 months or so. And then finally the hearing came, and it was like a 2-second thing. And they were like, yeah, of course. This has nothing to do with anything. And it's been history ever since. So yeah, if you are nervous and you want to make a YouTube channel and you don't want to show your face, you could totally succeed at it. It's totally fine. Totally.
Yep. Scooter G's got a question. Says, if you had a collection of glass shoes and know nothing about them at all, I'm serious what he's saying, would you try and get them appraised? It's literally hundreds of shoes. Glass shoes, man. I'm not.
Man, isn't it Cinderella land?
Yeah, that's out of my realm. Maybe
Yeah.
Wicked Mothers. Like, I don't know. I really don't know, man.
You know what I would do if I was to, like, say, stumble upon this? If the thing was in my lap, I couldn't do anything about avoiding it. I would take a sample, take a handful, price them out, and comp them yourself. Say if you have 100, say you take 10 out, and if you go dollar, it's clearly not going to be worth it for you to spend $200 and have them appraised. But if you pull a 10 and a 40 and a 50 and a 1, you go, all right, I need somebody to come in and take a look at this. It takes money to make money. You don't want to get ripped off. You don't want to put them up and go, I'm going to put them at a 99-cent auction and see what the market does. You'll end up getting ripped off. So take a sampled rate of what you have, see if it's worth it, and don't be such a cheapskate and go and get yourself an appraiser and see if it's worth it, because that money might be worth it. It might be worth you to spend $200 to have the glass shoe guy come in and give you a number on them to save you from the headache or make you extra money. And you just write off that cost at the end of the year in your taxes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess my question would be is, like, have you looked any of them up? Like, have you Google Lens, like all the tools that are available, and see if any of that's out there? And then, Tim, you're killing it tonight, bro. You're killing it.
I didn't. I introduced myself straight up, but I just couldn't show my face. I mean, if somebody wanted to identify me via my watch or my wedding ring, they probably could have been able to do it. I wasn't exactly Inspector Gadget out here, but it worked out. It worked out in the end.
Hey, I'll just tell you a little thing on my buddy here, just because he's here, and that's a relative conversation. But so Ken started a YouTube channel. I found out by a slip up of his wife saying, like, he didn't tell any of us, right? None of his friend group, nobody at our church, like nothing like that. And then it slipped out that he had one. And so I got sick. Like, I had the flu for like 2 days. I couldn't get out of the bed hardly. Like, I was just like done long before COVID, like not a COVID thing, but long before that. So I laid in the bed and I'm like stalking YouTube trying to find him on there. And I found him. So I sent him a text, Island Homesteader here, because that was his tagline in the beginning. You go back and watch his original videos, Island Homesteader here. I was like, dude, he's like, what? How did you find me? I was like, well, you had Mr. Wilson going on there, but I got you.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
So I know Ken had like one video that really took off because of what was a house was on fire.
Yeah.
All right, and so I guess one thing I'll point out, like, John definitely told me, as to keep an eye out for like current events. I was there for 2 of his live streams. One was the Blue Angels, and then the other one was the protests in DC.
Yeah.
And man, you had turnout. Holy smokes, man!
Big numbers for live streams. As far as live streams go. My first foray into it was when the Blue Angels flew over the city here and on a lark. I have this right outside the window here is Washington D.C. We overlook the skyline, and I said, well, I'm gonna stand here anyway. I might as well throw a camera up. And I don't say out of the blue, no pun intended, but I think at one point I had like 2,000 people in the room, and I was like, this is crazy. If you ever go back and watch the video, before the planes came flying over, I had looked down and it was like 1,700 people. So my hands are actually shaking with the camera as it goes by. Man, those are huge numbers for me. And I think that was the video that pushed me over the monetization. I think that was the one. And then not long after that was, I went to 2 nights of protests here in Washington. It was still like questionable whether they were riots or protests or not. And I worked downtown, and I had my phone. I just pulled my phone out and was like, oh, I'll go walk around. And it turned out they weren't rioting at all, but nobody knew. So there was like this interest in it.
Yeah.
And the first night I was over there, someone shared my link on 4chan.
Oh,
and I think I had like 6,000 people watching at one time or something ridiculous. And then the next night I had like 4,000 watching at a time. And when you do these live streams, after you hit the button on the YouTube app, it throws up a snapshot. I was never able to find it again. I thought it would be. We thought it would be in some of my analytics, but it said I had like the 4,000 hours that we try so hard for. Just that one night, I had 7,500 hours of watch time in the one night from all those views. I was like, man, I've been working a year for that number, and I got more. I almost doubled it in one night. But I gave that advice to Joey Bada Bing because he's down by the Space Coast. I said, take the 45-minute ride. Just go live stream a shuttle launch. It's going to get your numbers up. You want to get over that hump. You want to get over that monetization hump and start making your 16 cents. More power to you. Short circuit the system a little. Give the people on YouTube an experience that they can't get. Imagine your viewers in Omaha. What do I have here? I give them experiences. There's going to be another flyover in a couple weeks. I'm going to stick the camera out the window for the people in Omaha that are going to watch it. Do I expect them to subscribe? Yeah. Absolutely not. But I'm still going to get those time. Yeah. I'm still going to get that time. They're still going to be showing ads. Yeah. The live streams for me, Sam, I said earlier about not making a lot of money. The live streams make money. The big live streams definitely make money. To me, that's worth it. It's a couple bucks. Some of them make $10. Some of them make $60. Who knows? Yeah. But you gotta try. It doesn't cost me anything. I very rarely go out of my way to do things, but when I do, I want to make sure that it's worth it. Go to a riot. I made like $80 on YouTube that night. Doing these lives is great. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Doing these lives are great. We know that they get your minutes up. They really do. But if you're able to give someone an experience, physical experience away from where they are, and you could watch it on YouTube by the dozens and by the thousands, YouTube is gonna show them ads, and you're gonna make money. That's a really great way to short circuit the system. That's just a piece of advice that I can give. Underneath it, you're still gonna give them picking content or reselling content or whatever content you decide. But in order to get over that hump, to give it a little, hit it with a live stream.
Yeah,
a live stream.
Yeah,
I'm guilty of it. The next time you get a storm that rolls in, just stick your phone out the window. See how many people just watch your shed blow away. It'll pay for the.
That's what Ken was saying up here, because he has videos about the hurricane like a few years ago, and same thing. He's like, those two are his top performing videos. Like there was a house fire video and hurricane, and people are still watching those videos. Like it's still something, because it's something different, something you're not seeing every day. Or if you watch the Weather Channel, Lord knows, a hurricane is going to wipe people off the face of the earth.
Right.
But like I said.
Where do I watch? Where do I sign up? Like, I can't wait to get me some of that. Like,
yeah, that's it. But no, it's great advice. I mean, we've had other YouTubers like, we've had What the Hales and Reyes on before, and both of those guys are like, roll the camera, man. They're like, you never know what you're gonna catch on camera. That's gonna be something that, like you said,
you had Reyes, the entrepreneur.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, fantastic! I missed that one. That dude's awesome.
He's hilarious, man. He's the same dude.
Yeah.
On and off the camera. Funny, really nice guy.
Behind the scenes. Yeah, behind the scenes we had. Well, I tell you how we got it. It's the craziest thing how we got him. So me and Sam, like, we're always talking to each other about, okay, so what do we think? This kind of thing. So one day I'm on Instagram and I follow Reyes. I like the guy. I think he's great. I think he's genius about what he's doing. And I was like, man, so I'm like on there. On his Instagram, he always has like these ask a question things. And so this one day he pops up and says, ask a question, anything, I'll answer it. And I'm like, so I said, "Hey, bro, would you come on our live stream we're doing on Friday nights?" So I didn't even think anything else about it. I say, I'm never gonna hear anything from this guy, dude. I text Sam early that next morning. I'm like, bro, and I sent him a screenshot. And he said,
Nice.
"I'm down." I was like, "That's cool."
Can I ask her out?
Yeah.
Because that's somebody I've been watching long before I was reselling because I just
Sure.
enjoy his hustle. I
Sure.
like that whole hustling and making extra.
It's funny
Yeah.
you say that. I was talking with another YouTuber. I forget who it was. It might have been Walter Blake Knobloch. I forget. It was either him or someone else. And they were like, just ask Reyes. He'll come on. And I was like, really? He's like, oh, absolutely. Reyes will come on. And I was like, nah, I'm not going to bother him. And then you guys were like, oh, yeah, we had him. Fantastic.
Yeah.
He's man. We had a great time. That was a great. Reyes is so positive too, bro. Like he's very encouraging, and like he's pretty matter of fact, like about other things, because he's like, dude, YouTube for me is a business. Like he's like, this is how I make money. Like he's like, so because we were joking him about Macari. He's like, he goes, yeah, Macari's. I said, man, you should do a thing for Macari. And he's like, Macari's reached out to me, but man, I got to get paid.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I feel you, man.
Yeah.
Like, you got a 5 million view video, like you've got a little clout to swing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually that's a nice segue. My wife's blog and Instagram is bigger than mine. She's the one that motivated me to get a large social media following, and she gets brand offers all the time. She's made a ton of money with brands and sponsored contents and sponsored posts, and here's our stuff, and would you review it and we'll pay you, that sort of thing. And since the coronavirus, you hear it a lot, but it's really affected our house as far as the advertising budgets go. She says she's never received so many "we'll give you something free" for advertising for us offers.
Yeah.
Since she started. She goes, there's girls out there that have 100 followers, and there's brands like, oh, could you do our stuff? Like, yo, your free box of diapers doesn't pay the bills in any way. Like, my kids aren't in diapers anymore. It's like, no, we need this to, we need cash.
Yeah.
And then you see other folks like the people with 5 million views, and you hear some of the numbers. They get 10 grand, 20 grand to say League of Legends or whatever. And you're like, what? Maybe spread the wealth out a little bit. You're offering free stuff. Nobody wants free stuff.
Right. Yeah, it is kind of crazy. I did watch and like maybe I don't know whether you've had the same stuff go down, but that Bob's Buys was on that's who it was, right? On Harry Tornado that time.
Yeah.
That's who it was. So me and Sam were kind of like, we were talking a little bit about him and what was going on. That's when all that came out with the wrapping tape or whatever that stuff was from Scotch. But she kind of explained that too. She's like, look, sometimes you take an offer if it's from the right company because it's going to help you down the road. Like that's Scotch. I mean, Scotch is a Fortune 500 company. Like, so now on your resume for getting monetization, you can say, hey, I did an ad piece for Scotch.
Yeah.
So what does that do? It gives you a little bargaining chip to bring to the table and say, hey, I've done this. So I guess what they were kind of alluding to is that everything could possibly turn into something bigger. But
it could. I'm using my own data of what my wife does and still does. The list of names that she said no to is almost as impressive as the one that she said yes to.
Wow. That's cool.
Like you said, you're a Fortune 500 company. Cough up $500 for a blog post. Nobody works for free. Nobody's deserving to work for free.
Yeah, that's
nobody. You can't look somebody straight in the eye and let's just call it, just in case you're right. Let's just say it's every other commercial during football season. An insurance company.
Yeah.
A discount code? My viewers don't want a discount code. You want me to plant the seed in their head?
Yeah.
Give me some cash.
Yeah.
Give the NFL 1/10 of a second what you're paying.
Yeah.
Give me what you're giving the NFL.
Yeah,
1/10 of a second what you're paying them to be on.
Well, I mean, that's that he said too is negotiating. Like when
Yeah.
you can bring all that stuff to the table, like rather than just saying no out of the gate, be like, hey, I would consider it, but here's what I'm asking. Like,
She does it now. She has
Yeah.
a standard rate.
Yeah.
Sam, I'm sorry. I see you ready to go.
Yeah.
But she has a standard rate. She has a PDF that she sends out that says, I've worked with Huggies,
Yeah.
Thomas the Train, and blah, blah, blah. This is my rates. They are negotiable starting here. You want a blog post? It's this much. You want this? It's this much.
right.
And you want this? It's this much. That's the way you're handling it as a business. What she tells me is that a lot of these companies prey on people who are first timers. They might have just broken 500 subscribers on YouTube, and then they're like, oh my goodness, Huggies is reaching out to me.
Right.
And Huggies offer to take up their viewers' time as a free box of diapers. Not that that's ever happened. Huggies paid us. Huggies was a good one. I shouldn't have said that. That just doesn't work anymore.
No,
Emily has a question. Emily, I can't type because I'm not logged in here.
Yeah.
Use an agency at first. Sign up using your social medias. Sign up with an agency. Most of them are free. They're like an interface. They'll say, "Hey, would you want to work with so and so? What does your target audience do? For us, Scotch." The postal service, those type of things that make sense. And then once you establish yourself and you get a portfolio and you have an example of blog posts or videos that you made that you can give yourself a highlight reel, then you can leave the agency and become a free agent and just have a little thing on your website that says, for advertisements, contact me here.
It's like your little portfolio, your little package.
Yeah.
And what I was gonna say before is kind of what Ashley has is some sort of package. And I've heard in the park, like I was walking my dog like a couple of weeks back, and I heard a girl telling someone else, like, you should get your dog on Instagram. I get free stuff all the time. Like that was literally as soon as you said it, I'm like, yeah, why? Because she's a cute girl, and she probably has like 500 followers on Instagram, and they're like, here's some free stuff. Like, oh wow, like all you gotta do is just take a picture. Okay, like sure. But it's great, and I guess a lot of folks, when you're starting out, you don't really think about, when I do have 10,000, subscribers, or, I do have 1,000 views per video. How do I value that? How do I value that the time?
That's where your community comes in.
Right.
Ashley says that she talks to her girls in her community. Some of them are in Facebook groups together, and some of them talk on Instagram, and they want to present that unified front so that nobody's left behind writing 500-word blog posts for $40, $9. So they kind of talk to each other. They keep each other in the loop to say, no, blog post is $500, nothing less. It takes me a week to write this thing and 2 days to take the pictures. That's an appropriate compensation amount. We're starting at 500, and they all kind of get together doing that. All that being said, that is a little bit of advice for a little bit when you're established. You might want to do those little ones in the beginning, but you got to nip that quick. You really have to nip that quick. Because Sam, like you're saying, the girl who's got a dog on Instagram who's getting free Kong toys or Yukonuba show up to the door, technically speaking, that's payment. Now you owe taxes on that. So now you're taking cash out of your pocket for a stupid dog toy that showed up. That was a promotional item that you got for free. If Uncle Sam comes knocking, you now owe $7 on that bag of dog food because you got it. That was your compensation. So
it's crazy where we live. Well, we live tons of people. Like I know my girls, even in high school, like tons of their friends, and they've even got some of that stuff. So like we live on the beach. So like bathing suit companies stalk people's Instagram like crazy. If you're a young lady, like you're going to get some bathing suit offers. If you take a picture on the beach, like that's it's happening.
Yeah.
Like it's one of the things. So like people talk about that, but I always tell the girls, I said, man, I mean, if it's your image, like you got to put a value on it. I don't care if you ain't got hardly any of a following, like you still like it's yours, nobody else can provide that the same exactly as you.
And the thing is once it's out there, you can't get it back.
That's
so
it.
if it's You really have to think about what you want to do. I think 12,000 subscribers on or 12,000 followers on Instagram. It's a small number in the scope of things, and brands reach out to me, and it's social media and YouTube are not my main source of income, so I can say no to a lot of them. But some of them are just flat out insulting. Hey, would you post our picture for $5? Bro, I wouldn't get out of bed for $5. I wouldn't stand up from this chair for $5, let alone do your homework and advertise for you. So, they're offering some girl, $100 to take us. $100? Really? You're gonna take a bikini picture for $100? Like, come on, stop.
Hey, I'll send you my affiliate link to Fiverr if you want to. Somebody that can do it.
$5.
It's like, here you go. Yeah.
I'm all about small companies and you're gonna get we don't have a lot of money in our advertising budget. Well, you know what, throw out 2 less offers to come at me with a 20 spot. Maybe I'll consider it at $20, but $5.
Oh man,
no, Joey, I'm not gonna do it for $6. 20.
Joey, good to see you, man. Tesla Picker dropping in, Aaron dropping in. Good to see you guys. Yeah, thanks for coming in. Joey comes in at the $5 mark. But yeah, I mean, and I think that's a lot of I know a lot of us in the chat. Obviously, we're a smaller channel, so we're not dealing with that as much yet. But it's coming. I mean, guys, if you stick it out, like most people talk about consistency, if you're here in a year, like who knows where you'll be. Like that seems to be the running theme. I think a lot of people get burned out on the 8 cent, like you're talking about.
Yeah.
Just dip out or doing it like most of us right now for free, putting out content for free. But
that's what I was making the suggestion to you.
Yeah.
Keep doing it. Give yourself another golden ring. Okay, I'm not going to monetize until I hit 2,000 subscribers.
Right.
This way, you still hit it with that fervor that you had, that hunger, and you won't get dissuaded. We're all human. We're in a industry or a reselling category where we're all about making money. And we're going to sit here with a straight face and tell people, don't go to the dollar store and flip things because it's not worth your time. Time is this precious commodity. And then waste 4 hours editing a video for 8 cents.
Yeah.
It's just, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And I get it. I get the snowball effect. The video that I've made the most on was the one that I spent the most time researching and making, and it still gets views. But I don't want to say it was a once in a lifetime, but I can't capitalize on it. That was it. It was a one topic that I've done, and that's it. And when I make vloggy, this is what sold, or this is how to ship first class, or whatever the things that have been done over and over and over again, I don't have girls in bikinis. I don't show making coffee. I don't have a dog. I don't drink. I get 150 views. 150 views when you have 1,000 subscribers is like 65 cents. I wasted 4 hours for 65 cents, and then it dies off. Nobody watches it the next week. It's over.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's the trick, man. It's the juggling act, and honestly, I think a lot of us, like, you hate to say you throw things against the wall, but a lot of there is some education to be done on YouTube, like, but I know for me, like, there's certain things that I won't do, like you said. I mean, there's not things that I'm just going to put out just to get a view, because my name's worth more than that, is what I feel. And so I'm not going to do anything that down the road I'm going to look back and say, bro, like, that was serious compromise. Like, so
it is. And if you're able to, I've come off very negative, and like I said, the 65 cent thing, really, it does bug me, because I feel like my time is worth it. If it's something that you enjoy doing and you happen to make some money doing it, awesome. I just think that as far as in the immediate, as soon as you get 4,001 watch hour and 1,001, excitement needs to be tempered. And if I had to do it all over again, because of how I don't know if it affected me, but how it affected my creativity, I would wait till I had 2,000 subscribers or 3,000 subscribers and a built-in viewing base. Like somebody said, you get 1,000 views on every video. Then I would hit the button, because it's very stark. It's
Casey Neistat Casey Neistat did not monetize his channel for what, the first few years?
Was
That
it?
dude had 1 million subscribers.
Yeah.
Like he had those numbers. And it's like, nah, because for that exact thing, like, you know, he could have made a ton of money off of it, especially because he was blowing up the vlogging scene because he had all the skills the vloggers didn't. So it was that, you know, fresh breath of air that the niche needed. And yeah, he was just like, no, I just don't want it to kill my creativity.
Yeah.
And that, you know, Eric and I talk about that all the time, where sometimes, you know, when you start YouTube, it feels like the monetization is the finish line.
Mhm.
When that's like the qualifier for the race.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, you just
So-
got your entry fee up. That's all.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
really
okay,
good.
you ran enough. Now you can run the Boston Marathon.
Yeah. It is one of those things, you know, and obviously you have to look at other areas too. Like for me, I see people who monetization. I mean, I guess you kind of get a false idea of what that is if you're on the other side of it. But just like you're saying, I mean, Tommy Bernard talks about it all the time too. Like, hey, join the 50 cent a month club or whatever.
Mhm.
Like he's talking about the same thing. And I think some people, I mean, Nikki T and Dave are in here. Rev, like I know those guys. Like we watch them hit their thing. We've talked about, you know, what's going on with that. Rev's actually started a second channel who's getting views like crazy on the restoring the trucks. So I guess it is one of those things. If you think that is the end game, then obviously you're going to be disappointed when you get there. But if you know, like what we're saying, hey, that's step one in a long journey.
It
you know,
is. It is.
It might be something different too.
I should have listened, or if I heard that Casey Neistat story, if somebody had told me that, I should have listened to it. David Tesla Picker, he's exactly right. You know, if you're looking at it for money in the beginning, I was never making YouTube videos to make money. I never was. It's a good thing that happens to come out of it. But the way that I break it down, and if you've ever listened to me before, or you've ever heard me again, I always say that after you're reselling for a while, you start valuing your time more than you do money. You go, you know, I made $20 on this item. Fine. You know, we all do that. That's great. I sold this thing in 2 hours, or you know, I did OA. It showed up at my house. I flipped it on eBay. No time invested. Real flippers or real resellers, once you're established and you get that money cushion under you, you start valuing things in time. And the YouTube just wasn't there. I would like to keep doing it. I will continue doing it, but I wish I would have followed my own advice or heard that own advice. Like, I should wait till I get some.
Yeah. Well, you know, like for anybody who's gone to college, right? How much free time did you invest? Like, and it's not even free. You paid for that.
Yeah.
And if you're like most of us, you're still paying for that. So, you know, it's you know, at that point, you like there is this, you know, figurative carrot in front of you. And it's not so much that in YouTube, because you don't know when you're gonna have that video that pops off, that goes viral. That, you know, Ken talks about high paying. What is high paying? You know, $100 per video could mean, you know, great. That's great for me. You know, that pays for shipping supplies. That pays for, you know, a couple months a new SD card to upgrade my gear. But to somebody else, is like, that's trash.
Yeah. And I think that instead of let's take it out of the negative. I've said my piece. You've heard it already. Let's turn it into more of a positive. When you look at my analytics, because I never did a vloggy type channel, I have quite a few "this is what sold" videos, but mostly it's how to.
Education.
I have a very high CPM. I just don't have any views, but my CPM, the number that you would divide by, is for me, it's very high. And I'm super happy with that. So now I'm like, well, I don't want to make a vloggy type video and bring my CPM down. I know I'm being a little bit nerdy, but these are the things that you think about. Like, I don't want to get recategorized, because all it needs is one stupid algorithm to put you in the wrong column. And then you hear these stories of people getting like 1 million views and they make, you know, $1,000, and then you have other people who get 1 million views and they're making $10,000, and you don't want to screw with the algorithm that way. You see that a lot when you go on places like Social Blade and you're like, oh, this person's got millions of views. They must be making a ton of money. They're not in the right category. I'm not in their wallet, but you'll look and you're like, well, they're doing that for $10,000 a year. Not that that's not a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, but you'll see other people with, like, say, cooking channels.
Yeah.
Who have less views but make more money because they're more how-to, educational, more YouTube
appeals to
favors those more. Yeah. And advertisers pay more to be on those channels.
Yep.
These gamer guys, they get a bazillion views and they don't make any money from YouTube. They'll get it in advertising and shout outs and whatnot.
Well, that was one of the things that I was going to bring up as well is, obviously AdSense isn't the only way to monetize your YouTube stuff, because you think of, and you can look across the board, right? You can see the guys that, hey, they may be doing sponsored videos. Okay, that's an idea, but if you don't have a massive following, that's not it. But there's other guys that they may make viewer sales like crazy, and we see that. We see other guys pitching like household items, like they put their sticker on, and selling them crazy.
It doesn't take a big following to have an Amazon affiliate page, and you just make videos. And you're like, oh man, this is the best phone I ever had. You spent 20 minutes talking about this phone. Use the link below, and people are you're making money off of that. You're absolutely right. I'm guilty of all of those things. I tried all of them, and collectively you make a couple cents here and there. And but to me, that's almost the verboten passive income. It's not passive income, but it's almost passive income. You turn around and Amazon pays you $5 a month. You're like, all right, well, that's great. That's a pack of smokes or whatever.
If it's not costing you anything at that point, it's already there. Like, you're just dropping it in your link. Like, for me, I'm a big proponent of, dude, if you can find a way to make money while you're asleep, like, then obviously that's the thing. That's the thing I look at, if you've already put in the work. Because, like, if I've already put in the work, shot a video, if I'm dropping those links in there, that's the thing. Like, just like if I list an item and I go to sleep and I wake up the next morning, hey, that item's sold. Dude, I think of it in that regard. Like, I still got to pack it, ship it out. But ultimately, I've already put the work in. Now let's reap some of the rewards. So I kind of look at all that stuff as, I'm not one of those guys that's against people making money doing YouTube, because I know the work that has to go behind it to get you there.
Yeah,
that's how I feel about it. But
one of the things that I'm really terrible at it is like that Amazon store or the eBay, like the affiliate links and stuff. Like, I'll post it on my my Instagram stories only after somebody asked me, and I'm like, oh yeah, I did spend an hour putting that list together one time. Then you have people who are on the other side of the spectrum who's, I'm not gonna lie, brilliant. This is the second time I mentioned his name. Casey, Rockstar Flipper. You think that he's doing it out of the kindness of his heart, where he's like, don't forget to use your $25 coupon, swipe up. Every time the person swipes up, it was like, oh yeah, he gets the commission. He gets the affiliate link to that. He's not stupid. He knows what he's doing. I'm not smart enough, but
he does it on his Facebook as well too.
Yeah.
Like, it's like little infomercials in his post, and sure enough, there's a little like affiliate link.
Yeah, swipe up. Yeah. And he's gonna get that. He's gonna get a little cut of that.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Obviously, you need, like, for me, I need some help, like, with all that, because, like, there's so much of it out there now that you're just like, man. But I've used Chime. Like, when I switched to managed payments, I use Chime myself. I put that link out there. People get $50 if they put in 200. Like, and it's a free bank account. Like, it's one of those things. It's kind of a no-brainer. It helps me, helps them.
Yeah,
I get paid. They get paid. Everybody's happy as long as it's working.
Glock 30 fan. Demolition Ranch. The dude from Demolition Ranch makes about $6,000 a day off of YouTube. Before he takes an ad. Now, if he has an ad baked in, like where it says this is brought to you by League of Legends or whatever, he's not technically allowed to monetize that, so he might get those views and he doesn't monetize those. But believe me, that check that he got from League of Legends or whatever he's pushing that day more than covers his AdSense. So that dude makes about $3,000. Let's call it on average $4,000 a day in ad revenue.
Yeah, some of that stuff's crazy.
He's got 3 channels with over 1 million viewers, or a million subs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real.
Well, like here in North Carolina, we have Mr. Beast, right?
Okay.
Like, so where my daughter lived for a while is Greenville, North Carolina. That's where Mr. Beast is from. Like, so she said the crazy thing in Greenville is you see YouTubers everywhere
Yeah.
because of Mr. Beast. Like, everybody's
Yeah.
like, dude, that guy's making. I mean, he has $1 million video that he gave away $1 million. Like, I mean, it's like, come on, bro. Like, what's going on? You're obviously making money. You're not just giving $1 million out of the.
I would love
kindness of
that.
your heart.
So I'm here in Washington, in DC. So a lot of my videos, you guys are in the same view as I, would make my videos in. They're like talking head videos, but I get bored of making them sometimes. So I'll take the camera out, and maybe I'll go and there's like a White House thing in the background, and I'm still giving the same information to change the background. And the looks that I get from people, it doesn't bother me any because I just yell at them and like, whatever, curse words.
Yeah.
Your kids are listening. I'm not gonna say them, but they still stink eye. Like, what? It's 2020. Everyone's taking a selfie. So what? I have a camera on the end of the stick. They look at you like, oh, what's this guy doing? Like, yo, it's YouTube.
Yeah.
There are millions and millions and millions of people watching at any second. How do you think that stuff gets created? I have to be out here making a video.
Right. Yeah, that's wild. Like, I have the backpack cam now, like that I use like on the shoulder mount, that kind of stuff. And obviously, I'm a kind of a bigger guy, so like, dude, when I put that thing on, like, there's no hiding anything. Like, it's right there.
Get yourself some. Are you doing it for like garage sales?
Yeah.
Get
I don't
yourself
care,
some spyglasses, bro.
dude. I tell everybody, I don't care.
Get on my level. Get yourself some spyglasses.
Hey,
Camera's right here.
there you go.
It's 720, and nobody's the wiser.
What?
Yeah, bro.
I mean, for me, most of the time, I don't care. I tell you what I do. I'll hand my card out like crazy at yard sales. And I was like, hey, look, you might be on. I tell them I'm doing YouTube. Every once in a while, I'll say, hey, don't put me on camera. Like, somebody will say that. And I'm like, okay, no problem. Like, whatever. I'll take you out. But more times than not, people are like, hey, the spyglass thing would be cool.
Yeah, man.
Spyglass for the win.
Get yourself some spyglasses. I've never actually used them
Yeah.
yet. I haven't been to
Man
a
on the
garage
street
sale.
stuff, right?
No, not that I'm scared. I just haven't been to any garage sales since. I'm totally ready. I'm totally want to.
How much does those run you?
I think $40.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there'll be an Amazon affiliate link down in the comments after we're done here.
There you go.
In the description below.
Down in the description below.
Yeah. We'll do a product review for all the resellers.
Yeah. That's actually
I mean, hey,
I almost cursed. That's brilliant.
That's a
If
great.
you're a reseller, you need these. And
Yeah.
bang.
Hey, put a little DC picker sticker on the side of it.
That's
You're
all.
telling me though, like when some of the shutdown stuff was kind of like in limbo, that everybody was like, oh, we get to go back out again, garage sales. And then all of a sudden, like GoPros were starting to go out left and right. Like, I bet you GoPro sales are doing pretty well because of resellers on YouTube.
It's just everybody,
Yeah,
everyone's
shooting. Well, I mean, there for a minute, you couldn't find SD cards. Like, you couldn't find,
Yep.
like, I mean, all that stuff. You couldn't find ring lights, like, in the store. Like, it's
ring
crazy.
lights.
I got mine from Alibaba. I had to get mine from China, so.
What's the capture cards? Like all the stuff for podcasting and live streaming.
Yeah.
You couldn't get any of those. It was all gone.
Yeah, all the camera, like computer cameras, like all that stuff.
Yep.
Still.
I made a ton of money on those.
Logitech, I'm sure, is like their stock is through the roof during all that stuff going down. Yeah, Tesla is talking about having kids in the video, not having kids in the video.
And that's, I mean, I know John talks about that a little bit as far as growing his Instagram, kind of share, flexing the numbers, that's what you do, and, sharing a little bit about yourself.
Yeah.
I'm a big proponent of that. I did steal that from my wife, which was business, pleasure, help. Try to do that in a rotation. You do one is this is what I sold. this is how I sold it the next day, and then here's my kid's birthday cake on the third day, and could try to keep that in a rotation. You never know why people are actually following you. That you might have found them. I know the reason why my following got big is I got a couple of viral Instagram. They weren't viral, but they got a lot of likes on them. They got shared a lot, so my following went up. But also at the same time, in the stories, if my kids are jumping in the pool, I'm going to post my kids. I don't have a problem with that. It's not salacious. I'm proud of them, and I'm showing them off to a bunch of people. That said, you never know if someone is following along with you, if they're watching your kids grow up, or oh, what was going on with his car that time he broke his windshield. You never know. So you put stuff out there, but you keep it in mind. Okay, if I'm not going to show my face, don't do it. If I'm not going to show my kids, don't do it. Don't ever waver to the crowd. Stick to what your plan was.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So,
question for John and you guys. What is, aside from the farm, what is a dream YouTube venture as a side channel you'd like to explore, but we very damn well never end up doing? That's a good question. If I could take my camera along and money was no object, can I say space? I'd like to go to space.
Space?
Yeah, I'd like to go to space.
Dope.
But if it wasn't, it would be we would move back to the islands. Mrs. DC Picker and I, before we were married, before we had kids, lived down in the Caribbean. And
yeah.
This was before we didn't have 2 nickels, let alone $1,000 for a camera together. But we had fun, and I wish we did more video there. Just the ups and downs, the trials and tribulations. Those would have been fun vlogs. Those would have been fun. Going to the beach on Christmas because we were away from our family. So how did we make ourselves feel better? We went to the beach. Those were great times up and down with the boats and whatnot. I would probably do something along those lines with the family, living on a tropical island again.
That'd be cool. Yeah. I feel like that I like to travel as well. So, just documenting. Oh, there's. Hope he comes back. Documenting, just traveling. Like I love seeing different places, and hopefully when things open back up, I can explore that. It was that, or I've been really toying around and playing around with the idea of doing a like satirical fathering like channel, and just like. Like I have a couple of names in mind. Like one of them, like don't steal this. It's called Don't Tell Mom.
Hey, you think about the video of the little girl with the dad? It's like dad's for the win, right? When the guy takes the vacuum cleaner and like sucks up her pony, like puts the
a wet dry back. Yeah.
Remember that whole thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a dude out of Australia. It's like How to Dad, and it's like, you can get your kid to wash a car, and he's got his baby strapped to a carrier and puts a brush in her hand. And he's just like walking side to side while she's holding the brush in place. Or he convinced this one grocery store. I have no idea how, like that he was just gonna chase this toddler around this place and destroy the place, and as all for this 15-minute YouTube video. It was awesome. But I think something like that, would be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think the travel thing too. I was actually, man, when Colton and Courtney, Redneck Resale, when they had Traveling Salvation on, like I was looking at my wife like, that'd be cool. Like to just travel around the country, pick random places, bring stuff back. But figuring out the logistics to that might be a nightmare, but it's one of those things. Yeah, I guess Louis said that's why he mentioned Cuba, just saying an opportunity to explore, document, film, and experiences as a way of documentation.
I mean, just seeing like what's down there, what the lifestyles like, their haggling strategies, because like kids in South America learn to haggle at a like elementary school age. That's just part of life, versus like we don't really learn about it until like we're much, much older. for the most
Yeah.
part.
I done told you next time I go to India, man, I'm definitely filming that
Yeah.
street. Like I'm definitely hitting that because I like most people in America would be aghast to see like people haggle over everything. I don't care if it's got a sticker on it in the store. Like, they're like, nah, that's too expensive. Like you're
Yeah.
not paying that.
Or even what a bazaar looks like, you know?
Oh gosh, yeah.
I think one of I should first of all I should stop saying I think. We're not at work anymore. I don't have to preface everything. This is my opinion, okay? Stick with it. One of the things that I have to get used to doing, and I'm definitely not used to it, is carrying my camera everywhere. And I'm so guilty of that. Yes, I have my phone, but I really don't carry my camera everywhere. And you never know. Last weekend, or 2 weekends ago, I wanted to meet up with Joe Philly Picker. It just didn't line up, but I wouldn't have had my camera. Like, not that we were doing it for the camera, but just to take a 2-second thing, I didn't. I've met other people, other resellers. I never had my camera with me. But the one that really aggravated me, I shouldn't say aggravated because we had a good time, but me and the boy were up at my parents' house in New Jersey, and I don't know if you guys watch Super Speeders Rob Ferretti. He's a YouTuber. He has a pretty big following. I don't think he has 1 million yet, but he's got a big YouTube, and he's got all these exotic cars, Lamborghinis and Vipers and all these fancy things. My cousin runs an exotic car club up in New York, so he's like, hey, come up, check out the cars, take the boy. Me and the boy are going to go up Sunday morning. And of course it was at Gotham Dream Cars. We met Rob Ferretti. We saw all the cars, and I didn't have my camera with me. Nope, didn't have my camera with me. I took like a 4 or 5 minute video with my phone, and it was like woggle. I was like, I couldn't post this even if I wanted to. Like, I just squandered this. It wasn't once in a lifetime. My cousin's buddies with him. I'll get to do it again, but it was just a perfect example of I'm so guilty of. I usually don't have my camera with me, and it's a habit that I have to break. So that when you end up in India or in a bazaar or when the Trump is driving past or out the window, you're like, oh, here's my camera and here's something cool, giving someone something that they can't experience in Omaha. And I'm so guilty of not doing that.
I think that's half the battle. Like for me, I can tell you this, like, for me, I'm still not in the mentality of, hey, I need to be filming this. Hey, I need to be filming this. I'm so consumed with what's going on. Even sometimes now, dude, I'll see something at a yard sale, and I'm so geeked about what I can even see that I forget to turn on the camera, or like I'll hit it and then turn it back off, and I'm like, man, what the heck? I get back in the car, I don't have the footage. But one of the things I did pick up, like I went to the 127, I'm there with Rev and Nikki T and Colton and Courtney and OSP, like we're all hanging out. Dude, when I got out of the car, like I'm not camera ready. These guys are all like paparazzi out there. They got it flying. And I'm like, man, I said, that's where I need to get mentally in that mental space.
I'm definitely not that.
So, and I think that's for me. Like Ken's saying right here, like you hardly ever see his buddy Justin Rhodes without a camera in his hand or somewhere nearby. And I was like, because that's half the battle. That's the stuff. I think, sometimes so many people are so consumed with like trying to, okay, now I've got to shoot. Now it's YouTube time. Like, whereas if they would just show the stuff that they don't film, they'd probably put out a lot better video. I know I'm guilty of that myself.
The one good thing that we have done with that in mind, because I was so bad at it, is for when we bought, we're buying the farm, way before we even bought it, like when the inspections, I shot up there during some repairs that we were having done. I shot up there then, so that when it's content time, like that was the only time I was really good about having a little bit of forethought. But even still, that's not spontaneous. I knew these inspections were going on 2 weeks before. Glock 30 wants to know, do you get it all freaked out if someone recognizes you from YouTube and acts like you have been friends for years, tries to hold your kid or hug you or something? I don't think any of us have a big enough following where a stranger would do it. That said, when the world was back on, I was convinced that there was a lady in my son's gymnastics that knew who I was, that knew not John, knew the DC Picker. She would always look at me and like she would kind of
Yeah.
I don't know. You get that feeling like I don't know her, but she's looking at me like I know you, and I'm ridiculous with faces. Like I never forget a face, and I always wanted to ask her, do you follow me?
Yeah.
And the other person was actually my mortgage guy, the guy that I'm going through the mortgage with. He's like, oh yeah, what's your Instagram? And I was like, DC Picker. He's like, I follow you already. I was like, what? I don't know you. And
Yeah.
he totally followed me already. But I mean, to cross the physical boundary line, who's gonna touch my kids? I don't let my parents touch my kids.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let some
Yeah.
internet stranger.
And you have
I
to be
don't know,
bold to be reaching for someone's kid like that you don't know,
It's kind of crazy. Like I told you, I hand out my card everywhere. Like that has my social media stuff. Like I don't care. I'm just like, whatever, here it is. So people's yard sales. So I went to a yard sale one day that I'd went to that same location like maybe 2 or 3 weeks prior. Dude, when I rolled up and stepped out of the car, the guy's like, I was just watching your video. Like, and everybody at the yard sale like turned around and looked at me. Here I am with my GoPro sitting out. And I was like, so I just rolled with it. I was like, hey, bro. I said, so what you got out here that I can sell and make some money on today? Like,
Nice. See, that's cool. That's cool.
But I've never had like, complete stranger like just walk up and be like, aren't you OBX Picker? Like, no. It's funny. I was watching Rev and Nikki T earlier today. They dropped a video a little bit before me. And Rev was actually talking about he had a Facebook marketplace pickup. And he shows up there, and the guy's like, well, he talks to the guy on the phone, I guess, about the pickup or whatever. And the guy's like, hey, are you Rev Resale?
Nice.
I was like, that's pretty crazy, but you guys have to watch the video.
Nice.
The details. But I was like, yeah, it's pretty funny. Here it is. Brian asked, he was talking to Nikki T, but do you worry about other people's thoughts about the camera? Or is it not a concern now? Like
I said earlier, I wish more people in the city would, I don't know, be accepting of it or not stare so much. As far as the big one in our community, like as far as YouTubing in like a driveway or an estate sale or a garage sale, I'm real hinky about that.
Yeah.
I'm real, because I just know that if you were to come to my house and post my house on YouTube, even if there wasn't anything, we're gonna have a serious problem. There's gonna be a serious problem. So I know we all do it, or some people do it, and they do it surreptitiously, and they have it hidden, and they do this, and they try to blur and the faces. But I'm so the way that things are today. I don't even mean litigious. Someone just shows up to your house and is like, "Yo, take that down because I didn't tell you." To me, it's not worth it. I do talking head videos in my own bedroom. I'll go around the city, tell you the same story with a different background. I try to avoid it, but that's me. Other people, I know that's why they're much bigger than I am, because they're taking that step and they're doing it.
But
so
I think too, probably knowing your environment is probably different too. Like,
right?
Because I mean, obviously, where you live, the area you live, I would be a little bit more apprehensive about doing it there myself, just because of. You're talking a different, like where I'm at, I'm in the middle of like, and most of the yard sales that I go that I'm filming at, dude, them guys, they're like freaked out on the other end of that spectrum. They're like, yeah, man, come on over here. Like, that kind of stuff.
Nice.
So it's one of those things that it's actually kind of turns into like a good thing. But, I know, but also North Carolina does have that thing. Like if you can record anything as long as you're present. Like it's that's the law. Right. Like you can, like if it came down to hey, I'm taking you to court because you filmed me or whatever, like that is the thing. It's like as long as one person knows that the film's being shot, it doesn't matter. But like I've never had it get to that point. I had one lady tell me not to film, and I was like, no problem, I'll shut it off. I won't put it up. It's no problem. Like but like most of the time people are like, okay, whatever. But I just, I think you got to be aware of your environment.
To me, the description that you just had, or the hypothetical that you just had, where you're like, oh, I would win in court. Like, that sounds like the worst thing that could ever happen to me. Exactly. Me ending up in court over a YouTube video. Like, yes, the outcome might have come.
Yeah.
might come my way, but the idea of having to go to court over
Over
a YouTube,
YouTube?
I'm just
Yeah.
no, I'm
Nah.
not.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it, especially around here. These people are not conducive to. I swear I'm not tooting my own horn because this is not a politics. And we're not going to do. Mike Pompeo, the Secretary of State, and
Yeah.
we go to the same grocery store. Like, could I make a YouTube video out of that? Sure, but it would
Yeah.
violate the trust of the milk aisle. Like,
Yeah.
it's just not weird. When I say DC, I'm DC. Like, this
Yeah.
is legit.
Yeah.
I don't know how many other. I told the story. Sam was there. I got cut off by Rand Paul. We almost wrecked each other, and I looked over, and it was Rand Paul. Like, we don't really take too kindly to the
Nah.
camera, not during business hours.
No, you'd have to go to yard sale with like a press corps hat on. or
Yeah, yeah.
Versus, and you think it's like not every big city versus like living in New York. You feel like everybody's a freaking vlogger out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their phone walking around, talking into it or camera talking into it. It doesn't really seem out of the norm. But like, New York is kind of known for, film production and things like that too. So it's not unusual for a street to be shut down for, camera crew to be working.
The difference is that when that's going on, if I'm vlogging and I'm YouTubing or I'm showing my kids or I'm Instagramming, I'm the focus. I'm the focus. You might get caught up in some collateral damage in the background. The difference is me slapping this thing on, going forward, and now I'm going into someone's house and showing someone's garage without necessarily their implied consent. Whether there's a law that protects me or not, it's just not a road that I'm comfortable going down.
Yeah.
I don't feel like getting involved.
I mean, you think some of that's because of the environment you're in? Like, I mean, if you saw that on the norm,
I think it's more of the golden rule thing. Like, I wouldn't want it done to me. Now, on the other hand, the Goodwill manager has told me a number of times, don't film in here, and I have no problem filming in there. You're a corporation. I don't care what you say about, we're a nonprofit. Like, we see these prices you're charging. I never show an employee. I will edit out the employees, but I have no problem filming in a Goodwill or a store. That's, to me, that's out public. But someone's house, I'm hinky about it. But that's, you guys, believe me, there's lots of folks that do it and are doing it and are doing very well on it. I got a lot of weird rules.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it is one of those things too. I think some of it's environment preference. Like, I mean, I know that there's some places that I wouldn't feel as comfortable doing that as others. Like estate sales and stuff, like people, I mean,
still get quiet in front of my camera.
Right? But if somebody invited you into their house, like, and they're having a yard sale inside their house, that might be a little different.
Let me ask you guys this. I got done saying earlier we should live stream things that other people can experience. Now, before we came on the air this morning, I don't know if you guys heard the news that Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away.
Yeah.
So,
RBG.
Should I go live stream down there? Because there's a bunch of liberals.
Dude, I honestly think, man, like an RBG memorial, man, that's big, especially for the spring. Dude, I just know the left wing is going bonkers right now. So
I'm thinking about taking the camera down there. I know when Scalise, whatever his name was, Scalise died. Orion, my son, he was a baby, so it had to have been around 2015, 2016. Now, this is not a conservative town by any stretch. The only conservatives here are the ones that were elected and have to be here. We are very few and far between as far as conservatives go. And the line to get into his funeral or viewing was like 4 hours long. I wanted to take my son over. I said, this is a momentous thing. It happens, maybe once or twice in a lifetime. I wanted to take him over, and he was a baby, so we said no. It was like 1,000,000 degrees. If I remember correctly, it was summertime, and we didn't go. In this town, it's gonna be an 8-hour wait to walk in to see her coffin.
Yeah, it's different. I mean, I've been to DC quite a few times, but like just doing tourist stuff, and I was like, it's definitely a different world.
Yeah, we run differently over here.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot different for sure.
I haven't. Lone Star Picker says run up and hugs said Senator Ted Cruz. I've never met Ted Cruz. I met Bernie a bunch of times. I met a bunch of different politicians and things. I've been around. I've been to the White House. I've been to the Treasury building. I've been to the DHS. I've been all around. And I've met a lot of people. I never met Ted Cruz though.
Including Nicolas Cage while he was doing a treasure hunt.
No, I met John Voight though, his dad.
Oh,
I met John Voight on election day when we went to Trump's election. We were just walking down the street by Union Station, my buddies and I, and it was just John Voight was walking right there. John Voight's a big Republican, and he was we're like, hey, John Voight, and he was like, hey, I almost definitely have a picture with John Voight. Yeah, I almost definitely have a picture of John Voight. So not quite national treasure, but the dad from national treasure.
That's all right. That works though.
Close enough for you?
Hey, we have a guy that goes to our church. He could be his son as well.
Yeah.
He looks a lot like Nick Cage, man. We joke him about it all the time. We're like, if he'd start doing that stuff with his hands, like it'd be over. But,
yep.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
So we're not going to devolve. I said that we're not going to devolve into politics. Lone Star Picker says I don't like Ted. I don't like anybody. So does that work? And Glock 30 fan says I don't get the Gawker mentality. I have no desire to go to anybody's funeral. These are extraordinary people. These are people who have Wikipedia pages and have books who are written about them and have a cult following, specifically. When you look at society as a whole, our Supreme Court justices are like deities. They're almost the be-all and say-all in certain cases. So when one of them passes away, when they have a lifetime appointment, it's on par as when a pope dies. It's a very rare thing. I don't want to say it's special or it's good, but it's gonna inevitably draw out some curiosity from the public. And this town, being not that far driving distance from any number of metropolitan cities, which tend to lean Democratic, this town is going to be a madhouse when they announce whatever time and place she's being laid out in.
Man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a significant moment in time, and yeah, I mean, to show up with a camera is a good idea, I think. Yeah. I mean, as long as, it doesn't hurt anybody's feelings. But yeah.
I don't know. I went to a riot. Like this one, what's the difference at this point? I throw my scruples out the window.
Oh man!
All right. Well, how about what's Glock 30? Is that Tim? Is his name?
Tim. Yep.
Tim. Would you go see the Pope? Because I took my kids to see the Pope when he came to town. Would you see a live Pope as opposed to a dead Pope? In response to your question. This is always awkward because now you have to wait for them to type and.
Yeah, I don't.
You would not.
I'm Catholic.
Would not. Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I didn't riot that night. I think there was quite a few people on that live stream when I went to the riot that tried to get me to yell things that would have gotten me killed.
Oh man.
I think they were doing it in jest though. Die every day. I don't get it.
Movie reference.
I'm not a big movie guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's is that Transformers, maybe Starfighter. I don't know, one of those. Anyway, yeah.
Cool.
So, guys, do you guys have any further questions for John? If so, please type them in the chat, and we'll start winding this thing down.
Sure.
Definitely go check out John's channel. If I've dropped his link in there a couple of times. Sure. I believe Eric has it in the description below. When I found John, he was showing his face, and I'm sorry. I just gotta say, I think what's unique is his storytelling, like that he tries to tell it in a story, and I think it's a riot.
Thank you very much. Thank you. At least someone likes to listen to me because my mother and my wife are sick of hearing me. I went ahead and dropped the link. It's an affiliate link to those spy glasses. They're the best glasses you ever had for surreptitiously recording people. So right there in the link, just let me go ahead and spam it again. This is an affiliate link for the spy glasses. Otherwise, go ahead and follow me on YouTube. I would really, really appreciate it. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and it would really, really help me out. Thanks. Thank you so much. Lone Star Picker wants to know, which statesmen would you like to sit and have a conversation with or pick their brain that are still alive? I'm probably going to alienate half of my audience, or more than half. I'm a big Trump fan. I am a Trump fan. I'd like to sit with him and see if he's as dumb as they say he is, or as smart as they say he is. I'm not a complete like I don't know, brain dead. Like he's not the savior, like I say, but I like Trump. So if I had to pick someone that was alive as a statesman, I would have to go with the top dog.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, because for the fact that he's not a politician.
Yeah.
You could tell these dudes are politicians. They've been lying for 50 years. You're not going to get a straight answer from them. Where Trump might be dumb enough that you might be able to coax the real answer. Like, are there UFOs? And he'd be like, yeah, there are.
Yeah.
Like you might be able to.
And he's like the friend you can like get him to say anything without getting him drunk.
Yeah. And the thing with the dude is, and again, I'm not like a complete flag carrier. Like, he sometimes dictates policy on just who talked to him last. Like,
Yeah.
where did he get this idea from? Like, as someone was walking out of the Oval Office, they were like, "Oh yeah, and you know what? Ban people." And he's like, "All right, let me just ban people." Like, what? How did this happen?
Yeah. Man. See, I would want to hang out with Bush Jr.
Did I ever tell you the Bush Jr. story?
No.
No, I never told that story.
Well, I've never heard it. If you've told it.
Okay, I don't know if I have. So when Bush Sr. died, the federal employees get the day off when a president dies, former or current. Federal employees get the day off. So I went to my job. I took my family. It's not morbid, Tim. It's historic. So I took my family down. We parked in my parking spot at my office, and we knew that the funeral procession was going to come by from the cathedral to Andrews Air Force Base, where they were going to load him up, put him on Air Force One last time, and send him down to Houston. So we park at my parking lot, and we park in my parking spot. We walk down, and the procession is coming, and it's very slow. It's a funeral procession. It's not like like when Trump goes by or the president goes by. They come by, they're ripping. It was very slow, and I told my son, I was like, when he comes by, salute. And I did no way did I think he was actually going to do it. So my son is saluting as the hearse goes by, and right behind it, or in front of it, I think it was right behind it, was Trump. Was Bush Jr. or W. in the passenger seat, made eye contact with my son and waved to my son as he was saluting the old man's casket.
Man.
And I was like, "This is awesome."
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I mean, not that he died, but it was cool. That was,
it
was a weird day. It was the first time I experienced a president dying while I was here. They sent Air Force One like right over like literally right over the apartment.
Oh, that's weird.
Probably, I'm probably a couple hundred feet in the air on the top floor here, and he wasn't that high above us. Like it was awesome.
Yeah, I just think George W. is a party boy at heart. Like, I think he can throw. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I think he just wants to have a good time. Like,
yeah. He plays coy with the painting.
Yeah.
And I think it's good. I think that he got painted as being a dummy when I don't actually think he was. You're right. He was a party boy. He was emotional. He was hit with, arguably at this point now, with 20 years removed, one of the worst days in American history. There was no plan for it. It wasn't a war, and I think he handled it the best way he could. A hindsight, again, being 2020, it was not the best idea. It was not the best plan. It was not the good idea to invade Iraq because they tried to kill his daddy and were there 20 years later. But I think he reflects on it. He kind of knows it. Like, he's like, I'm just gonna sit back here. I'm not gonna say anything because as soon as I do, someone's gonna drop Iraq in my face and I'm gonna lose every argument.
Yeah.
I liked W at the time, and I think you're right. He's not. involving himself. As easy as it is. I mean, everything we do is saturated with politics. He does a good job of staying out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough.
Way to go. Who brought out the politics?
Small Town Guest did have a thing.
I
What
blame
do you
Louis.
think about YouTube auctions? Like, you think YouTube will eventually take them down? Is basically what they're asking.
I can't tell a lie. I don't even know what an online streaming auction is.
Yeah, there's tons of resellers right now that run auctions on YouTube.
Okay.
So it's similar to I don't know if you've seen Facebook auctions, same way. Basically, you're running an auction on your live stream. You're holding up items. You're saying, whatever bid. I've participated in a couple on another channel.
Okay.
But I really don't see why they would care. I think YouTube's big thing is like have people watch the channel, have people interact in the channel. Like I think.
How do they pay, or like how do you enforce it? Like,
PayPal. You can either set it up like to run directly through your PayPal. Or like people do Venmo, Cash App, that kind of stuff.
Then you just ship it to their PayPal address or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
They just email you with a lot of them actually have a registration form you can fill out. It's already got all your information. So if you bid, you win. If basically like a lot of people do it, like if you don't pay, then you're out. Like next time you come an auction, like you're
gonna get kicked out. Okay.
Straight to the door. But there are some people that do that. Actually, a lot of people do that now as a way to move some different inventory. I think What the Hales is probably one of my favorite ones because I just think they're genius about the way they do it because they show them picking storage units throughout the week. And then on Sunday nights, they run an auction the second hour and they sell reseller lots on their auction. And like it's stuff that you've seen them pick during the week. Nice. So I think they get the fans that are just wanting to buy something from What the Hales, and I think there are some people that make some money on some of what they buy. So and they also do minute to win it, so it keeps your attention and you can snipe. So they actually hold a clock up and says that you got a minute, and when they type sold in the chat, whoever had the highest bid that dropped in the live stream prior to that is the one. So like I've been the other kind where people just go on, and it's tougher. Speaking of auctions, there's January House Mike in the house. He does auctions, so I know he knows what's going on with that. But I think there was another question further down. Let's see. Somebody had asked. I don't know. I've lost it. We jumped way down.
It was flying there.
But,
politics gets people fired up. That chat was running. It was going there for a little bit.
Well, Dave, you watch. I mean, admittedly, I watch some guys on YouTube. Like, I mean, you want to get somebody stirred up, you watch some of that stuff on YouTube. You see some like thumbs down for sure coming through some people's chats.
Yeah, I appreciate those. I do, not the people that are purposely making videos to get the down votes, but someone that comes to mind, like I don't know if you ever watch Wrangler Star. Wrangler Star is a homesteading guy. He lives out in Oregon, and he's unabashedly Catholic. He's unabashedly pro-government, but anti-government, but pro-Trump and pro-Republican. And he just says, "This is who I am. You're watching me. This is my opinion." A lot of us take it upon ourselves, like I started with by saying. I'm gonna piss off half of my audience or whatever, because that's the way that it is now. It is now. It's such a hot button issue for whatever. It's so hot, such a hot topic that nobody really wants to touch it. I kind of appreciate those folks who are just, I am who I am. Not so much the Alex Jones who just says things to get the rise out of people, but the people who are, I am who I am. If it happens to be on a political level or whatever. I appreciate those people. I really do.
Yeah, there's some guys that I've watched that I was like, whoa, like they're just like, they're poking the bear constantly.
I'm not real big on the I'm not real big on the like the lizard government people videos, like it's a lizard people. Those ones I don't watch, but just I don't know. The people who are who they are. People like that, and I think it transcends politics.
Yeah.
If you're a boy who dresses like a girl, but you do makeup videos, if you are who you are, people are going to like that. People can sense when folks are faking the funk. If you're
Yep.
trying to be something that you're not, people can sense that. So if
Yep.
you are and you're like, listen, that's why that guy, who's Frankie? The guy from Canada, I don't want to say he's retarded because he's not, but he has this huge social media following. He embraces it. He's like, listen to me say this word all wacky, and people love him for it. And that just goes to show that you don't have to be an Instagram thought, an Instagram model to to succeed. I can't think of that guy's name, Frankie something or other, and huge numbers.
Yeah.
Because he is who he is.
Yeah, I think it's one of them things. And I mean, like I said, then you don't have to remember to be on, right? You're just who you are. Like you don't have to. If you're playing a character, like that's a different thing.
Yeah.
Block 30 fan, I'm with you, bro. I get off on random tangents on YouTube myself. Like I'll just, next thing I know, I'm watching like what's that Indian fellow that's like digging his own swimming pool?
Yes.
Like I watched that thing for a solid 6 hours, man. Like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah.
Sit there and watch it forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or the guy who cooks on fire, like I'm about that kind of stuff, man. I just find something random, then I'll be sharing it with my friends. Like about.
Yeah, I watched that guy. I'm trying to think. Cooking with Cast Iron, I do watch those. I'm a big Cast Iron fan.
Yeah.
Cowboy Kent Rollins, I'll watch a lot of his
Cowboy
stuff.
Kent Rollins, man.
I'll watch a lot of his stuff. Frankie McDonald, that's it. Joe bailed me out. Frankie McDonald.
Yeah.
There you go. Lone Star Picker says, John, because everything is polarized, Alex Jones is a piece of cake. I've met him and walked the other way. Cray cray. I met him here too a couple times. I met him down in Richmond during a certain rally we had in the beginning of the year, and that dude's gonna get shot one day. That's all I'm gonna say. Like he knows the character that he's playing. I don't think people are smart enough to see through it. That dude's gonna get shot one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone's.
It's like the Larry the Cable Guy, but it doesn't turn it off type of deal.
Doesn't turn it off.
Right.
It does not. I mean, he was in there with the tank and the bullhorn, and then he got down with the tank, and he was yelling and screaming, and it was. Yeah. I got a great picture of him though. I didn't take a picture with him, but it was from me to the camera, and he's just looking at me. It's a good picture. I gotta find that.
Some of that stuff's wild. Ken's dropped that thing. Primitive Living, I think, is the
yes,
Primitive Living that he was talking about. I was like, man, I watch, and I mean, obviously, funny videos. Like you can't get away from that stuff. Once you start going down the rabbit hole of YouTube, like there's no telling where you end up at.
Car crash videos from Russia and like you laugh, you lose challenges, and I'm like, these are the lowest common denominator videos, and yet I'm making fun of them. They got millions of views. I can't turn it off. And I'm like, these are dumb. Click next.
Why am I watching this?
Why am I watching this?
I tell you what's the crazy. I know, like probably everybody here has done this. So fall asleep watching YouTube and wake up like, what am I watching?
Yeah.
Like, what is this? Yeah. What is this that showed up on my TV?
I have a competition. I don't know, to get too personal, because I'm usually so stressed out. I have a competition where I try to find the most boring video on YouTube to fall asleep to. Mm-hmm. There's some doozies out there. There's like someone who took the time to put this up. It works though. This is exactly. You watch that, I fall right to sleep. I'm like, man, this is
8 hour, dude. I've done this literally. Okay, so we sleep at my house. I have a fan, like not just a ceiling fan, but I have a fan that we have every night, like just to blow. Like it's I think it's more about the white noise than anything. Dude, there is YouTube videos 8 hours of ceiling fan, and I watched that stuff, man. Like because I like. Turn that on.
Log. It's 10 hours of a fireplace on a loop. I mean, Tim says 10 hours of thunderstorms. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. It's not. Those aren't the ones that I'm talking about. Those are the ones that I have an explicit upload with relaxation and or putting people to sleep. I'm talking about like, I'm an engineer. I like engineering. But like I'll put on chemistry videos and I'll be asleep in 10 minutes. Like there is no I can't do the chemistry. Right.
Talk about like molality.
I can't do it. I'm getting Z's right now. Once you start with that with molar weight, I'm out. See ya.
Yeah. these guys are talking about Jeremy and George, man, that coin pusher stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is that draws you in about that kind of stuff. It's like I don't know.
What could happen next?
I'm thinking about making one of those 10-hour videos and just sticking it in the back of the channel, not pushing it on Instagram, just for the money. There's 10 people in here just wrote, "Oh, I watch those every night." Okay.
Yep.
All right, I'm just gonna put the camera out put the microphone out the window next time it rains. Just stick it in the back there. Just it's got nothing to do with anybody.
Nah, that's big. Like, I mean, obviously, like Jeremy and George have a pretty big following, so he launched that new channel, and it's all AS. What's the terminology?
ASMR.
Yeah, and it's all that kind of stuff. Okay, I filmed a fire for 30 minutes, like, and but I was like, dude, you could film it for 30 minutes, just put it on a loop, and
ASMR is so funny. That's one of the funniest categories I've ever seen, because all you ever hear is people going, "I don't get it. I don't watch it. I don't know what it is."
But everybody's watching it.
Everyone watches it. You are the biggest liars I've ever seen in my life. Everybody watches an ASMR video every once in a while.
I can't stop watching Nuggets.
Oh, stop it. I would rather you look up my internet history than look at my YouTube search history with the amount of ASMR videos I've ever watched.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean,
Sam knows what I'm talking about. That's a good joke.
That's right.
That's a good joke.
Yeah. Crazy, man. That's stuff.
Everyone jumps on it like, "Oh, who would watch this?" And then you go watch it, you're like, "Now I know why."
I know.
I don't watch the eating videos. The eating videos are disgusting.
That's what that's what my daughter was telling me. I was like, what the heck are you talking about? It's like,
mukbangs.
People mukbangs. Just like watching people eat. Like, what is that about?
That's gross. I will say there are some really impressive tiny Asian women who can put away an ungodly amount of ramen. Like, they'll make like 10 of those packets and it's spicy, and they're like, "Yeah, it's nothing," throwing it back, and they're like, "My pinky." Oh, like I
saw a video one time years ago. I'm not making a joke, where they were convinced that at the time the most famous mukbang girl, she wasn't a lady, they're all girls, was like giving subliminal messages that she was actually kidnapped and was like doing these forced videos. And I was like, this is too weird for me. I can't. Like, she was like doing the blinking of Morse code, and it was like actually like when they put the Morse code on the screen, I was like, this is way too weird. I can't. This is weird even for me. I can't.
Nah, I can't do it, man.
Zit popping videos, I'm guilty as charged. I'll watch those.
My wife is all about it, man. All about that pimple popper. She's like, "Yo, check this out." She's like eating yogurt or something. I'm like, get out of here.
Joe says his daughter watches cat videos. Joe says his daughter watches a channel where they film a car running over toys. You know how many cars I have? Do you know how many toys I have? Why am I not making these videos?
Oddly satisfying stuff, man. People skating down soap. Like, they're all about it.
So here's an idea too. Is what I was gonna do. So Sam, the last time we talked, we were talking about me doing lean, comparing how we can do lean into reselling. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. There's too many variables. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
I did look into doing that. But again, this is my channel, and I'm deciding to do whatever I feel like doing. I have become a sucker for Instagram ads, and I buy things from Instagram ads. And now I'm thinking about reviewing them. I'm just going to put reviews up, because people still watch when I got mad and made the video about my Canon G7X Mark III. People still watch that video. So I see some of the numbers that go on with like some of the soap. I bought the Dr. Squatch soap, and I'm gonna do a review on those. And I ordered the other day one of those Secret Lab chairs, one of them gaming chairs that I would have no idea about it, except I was scrolling through Instagram and I was like, I need a new chair, my butt hurts, and I'm just gonna do reviews on them. And whether you guys watch them or not, I'm going for the search views.
Well, I was gonna tell you too, like, you know what's
crazy? Drop the affiliate link for the review money.
So what I was going to tell you is, okay, so when I first started doing YouTube, like, I mean, I didn't know what I was doing, period. Not that I know a whole lot now, but, I still, like, I was doing, because I'd watched Lonnie do a video where he was showing where he takes video of electronics, like, to include that clip into his listing on eBay. So, hey, this thing works. This is what happens. This is what's going on with it. So I was doing a few of those videos, like with anything that was either mechanical or electronic. Hey, this thing works. Like, here's the video of it working before it went to you. So I was doing those, and I bought a cross. I can't even say the name, but it's a Russian camera. A Krasnikov is what I think what it is. But anyway, it's a K camera that is apparently very sought after. It was one that Spike Lee used when he was in film school or whatever.
Nice.
So like film people are into that thing. It's heavy as all get out. It's solid housing, like the whole bit. So I found that thing at a garage sale for $5.
Awesome.
Like, man, it's like $300 camera. So I shot a video of me just like going through what all's included in it, you know, how clean it is, that kind of stuff. I still get watches every week on that thing. Yeah. And it's like, you know, I just buried it, like you said, buried it in the back of the channel. It's way back there somewhere. But people are like still watching that thing.
They say, you know, for smaller channels like ours, I'm no bigger than you guys are. You'll be, you know, right where I am in 2 weeks. It's no big deal. For smaller channels like ours, the old adage was go for the search bar and then to go for the search terms. And then they've kind of switched it now, and it's like make bingeable content. For us, that's very hard. Right. You know, if it didn't sell, I can't make a video about it. If we're making how-to, I'm out of ideas on how, if there's one more how-to video in the reselling world, I'm going to shoot myself. But we could still go back one step. What was cool in 2019? Search terms. The how-tos, the how-tos are going to be there. They're evergreen, and YouTube is the second biggest search engine out there. I want to know whether it's worth buying $7 bars of soap. I'm going to go on. Maybe my chances of being viewed are greater than This Is What Sold videos. I'm not the Rally Roots. I'm not getting 10,000 views on a This Is What Sold. So I'm going old school. I spent $500 on a computer chair. I'm making a YouTube video about it. You guys are going to watch it.
Why not, man? And it might not, and it's seasonal, you know, like some of the cats have been there for a long time. They'll tell you people drop in and they drop off and they come back to the, you know, and it is just how it is. So.
Yeah. I seem like I'm down on YouTube, and I'm really not. The reality is I like doing it. I'm probably going to do a live show tomorrow just because it's been 6 weeks since I've done one. And each one of those 6 weeks, we'll talk about it on the show tomorrow, has been a something. It's not like I've turned my back on you guys. I really enjoy doing them. Excuse me. YouTube is a great outlet. It's a great outlet. It's a great tool. It's great for us. As resellers, Lana uses it a different way than Casey Rockstar Flipper, than a different way than the Rally Roots, and then my all-time favorite, my Pete Craigslist Hunter, who I just talked to on the phone the other day. That's my dude. I mean, we all use it for different things. And,
he's a great guy. Yeah,
good dude. You know, it doesn't seem like he's out there necessarily. He's doing a legit vlog. He's not like buy my stuff. Some people might buy it from him. Every once in a while, he's like, I got a $25,000 baseball card, come buy it. But most of the time, it's cats and stuff.
He does stuff for the community.
Right.
You know, when he said that to me, when I met him in person, he was like, you know, I used to do the how-to stuff, but like, he was like, honestly, people care more about the cat and the parrot than they do about what I'm selling.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like people thought it was great when they just mailed me somebody tried to scam me with a box of newspapers versus like, you know, what I sold.
That's my video that he has. It's when the lady tries to scam him not once but like 4 times.
Yeah. So it's the drama, that excitement, you know. After a while, it's like, because you know you do come across those sticking points where it's like, I don't live where you live. I don't see the same stuff that you see. You know, I come across different stuff. I have a different budget. Whatever your story is, right? It doesn't always resonate for folks out there.
Right. And the one thing that I haven't figured out, and what you're getting at, or I hope you're getting at, is are we doing edutainment? Are we doing education and entertainment? I don't know. When I try to make vloggy funny things, I get comments on the YouTube channel that are like, just get to the point. And then when I make This Is What Sold, I want to shoot myself when I'm done with it. I make comments at the end. I'm like, I should just make ASMR videos. I throw little dingers at the end because they're so boring to make.
I know. And that's what's important, right? Like doing it for you, and this hobby doesn't turn into a soul-sucking project.
Right.
So,
And we get into it. We get into reselling. Everyone has their own reasons for getting into reselling, whether it is to keep the lights on, whether it is I had something on the shelf and I got rid of it and that cha-ching gets addicting. We have a natural tendency as people to want to have your story be told. That's why we have the Instagrams and the Facebooks and this. And if YouTube is effortless for you, it comes off. If YouTube is your way of doing it, for me it's Instagram. I enjoy Instagram more. It's click, done, answer questions. I got all the time in the world for you. I love it. The YouTube is a bit more difficult, but you get more out of it. You get more out of YouTube. You get in what you get out. It's exactly the same way as reselling.
Well, I mean, Nikki T put in the comments that she loves the community, and I can attest. It's cool to even like doing this show and meeting different people. I mean, obviously, we're not meeting in person right now, but to meeting different people, getting their story, because I'm one of those people, man. I love to sit around and listen to people talk about their life. Like, I mean, in real life, I like doing that. I like to, hey, what's going on? Like, I always said, I was telling Sam and some of the other guys a while back, dude, I missed it at 127 because what I should have done is just went and interviewed all those guys that have been selling at the 127 for 20 years. Like, hey, how did you get into it? What do you like to pick? Like, kind of get all that, because I'm the kind of guy, like, I love hanging out with, like, when my grandparents, were still alive and I go hang out with them. Like my grandmother has dementia, so she remembers some things and not other things now. But when my grandfather, like, I would go hang out with him and like talk about how things were when he was a kid, and him share all these great stories, like even some of the stories you've shared, Sam shared, other guests we've had on have shared, that I was like, dude, I would have never heard this if I weren't on YouTube.
Why do we always have these great ideas after it's over?
Yeah.
Like, I should have interviewed those guys as you're driving away.
Yeah. I literally last day, man, I'm like, dude, why didn't I? Here's a prime example of that. Like, always having the camera rolling. Friday night that we were at the 127, we're staying in the motel. I had went to where Colton and Courtney were staying. We shot our live stream there that night, and which was awesome. So I get back to the motel. There's 5 ladies in the parking lot unloading a van, have stuff scattered everywhere on the ground. And I was like, what in the world? And I joked to them. I said, hey, what are you guys setting up a sale here in the parking lot? Because there's sales everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And then an hour later, I'm still talking to those people, and they're giving me all these stories of the 127. They've been coming there for 10 years. They're a group of friends. They all live in different places now. They meet there. And I'm like, dude, why isn't the camera rolling right now?
Yeah, right?
After I'm walking up to the motel, I'm like, you're an idiot. Like,
we always have these great ideas after.
It's one of those things.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I gotta run. I'm hunting down this Super Mario All-Stars 3D game that dropped today. And if anybody plays Nintendo Switch, it's a pretty cool game. In Walmart itself, it's, for whatever reason, Walmart sells Nintendo Switch games new release $10 cheaper than retail any place else. And right now it's flipping for $80.
Code? Is it in my
I don't
zip
know.
code? Put my zip code in. I'm going to Walmart literally in 8 hours.
What's your zip?
22204.
Sorry, Sam. I just saw that in the chat.
No.
Like, oh,
very
man.
good. Let's see, I'm in Brickseek now.
I only buy certain things at Walmart, so I only go like once every 6 weeks, and tomorrow is the 6 weeks day.
It's when I start, it's same thing, man.
Yeah,
dude. I think Amy
know.
bought that game today. When I was talking to her, she said that she had bought that game. She was going to play it.
Yeah, RVA Flips is like picked one up today, but yeah, they're going.
What is
they're going
it?
for
Mario,
$80.
what?
Super Mario 3D All Stars. So they basically had remastered Mario 64, Super Mario Galaxy, and Mario Sunshine for the Nintendo Switch. So it's a 3-in-1 game. Like, Nintendo just did this whole like Super Mario like revamp thing and rehype in their last like video conference. So it is called, here, I'll just type it out, Super Mario.
I'll look tomorrow in case it's in store. They get a restock or whatever. I'll take a walk over. I'll look for you. because
Yeah.
I'm gonna need some good karma. I don't normally flip kids items. Sam will know this. He's heard me say it.
Yeah.
I don't normally do toys or kids items.
John loves
Uh,
plushies.
I don't stop. I almost cursed again. Stop it with the plushies. But I did get 2 PlayStation 5s, or pre-ordered 2 PlayStation 5s.
Dude, that's awesome.
But the problem is my son wants a Switch, and I can't get a Switch without paying $400 for it. So I'm hoping at some point I'm either gonna swap with somebody or use a little karma some here. Like somebody, I'm gonna save somebody's Christmas, and someone's gonna save my Christmas because he's obsessed with watching Super Mario All Stars Super Mario Odyssey on YouTube.
Yeah.
But we have PlayStation. This is a PlayStation house. I got a 3, a 4, and now a 5. I can't get that game, so he's gonna wanna.
A Switch.
He's gonna want.
Dude, I'll keep an eye out. If had I known, I would have bought one the other week when I saw them restocking them.
Yeah.
They were just down in trend, so it wasn't even worthwhile trying to pick them up and flip them.
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning of the pandemic, I was picking them up and giving them, well, not giving them, but selling them at cost to people. I sent one down to the Rally Roots, a couple of the Instagram people. I had no problem, but you know, you would think, dear 5-year-old, please tell me what you want for Christmas in April so I can avoid this. So I don't have to deal with this.
You have some foresight, kid.
Dude, what's crazy?
Anyways,
Have
I
you
love you
looked
guys.
up?
I'll see you soon.
All right, Sam.
Thanks for being in, Sam. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate the help as always. Yeah, I was looking at the 5 today on eBay.
What's it going for?
Dude, people have it. Some people have it for like $1,300 right now.
Okay, I got 2 of the non-disc, 2 of the digital. The one's going to be for me, and the other one's going to be for resale. And I'm hoping to not really kill it. I'm hoping to get enough out of the one to pay for the other one. So if I get $800 out of it, $900. The way that I consider it, and I rationalize it to myself, is this thing is $399 new. It's a PlayStation. It's not a Nintendo. It's not an SES, a Super Nintendo. I'm rationalizing it because I say I don't sell things to kids, that this is an adult toy. If you got $400 or $500 to drop on a video game system, I'll be the one to sell it to you. But I don't think so. You know, I'm hoping that it goes to an adult.
Well, I mean, like for me, I'm back Wii days, right?
Yeah.
So like, you know, for me, I remember my kids were little when the Wii came out, and we bought a Wii, and I don't know how I got it, and I can't remember the details, but I got it nonetheless. So that Christmas, dude, we're shopping. We go to Toys R Us. People are standing outside. Yeah. I'm like, what are you guys standing outside there? Like, oh, in the morning they get a new Wii shipment in. Yeah. I'm sitting there thinking, like, dude, I got that thing at the house. Good thing I weren't reselling. We wouldn't have had a Wii at the house because I probably sold it. Ran a sidewalk auction out there for about $800.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like one of those things you think. So some people are getting $750 right now on the pre-order.
Okay. All right. Well, mine's a Walmart pre-order, which I've had very good luck with. You know, having them not cancel. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't know how I'm gonna play it.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting to spend $1,000 on PlayStations. I wasn't even I wasn't really into it. But
somebody sold the disc version for $1,230, but that was back in July.
Okay.
Pre-order.
Okay.
So.
All right, I don't feel bad.
$850 disc version.
$850 for the disc version. Okay. All right.
There's another one today, but this one comes with the extra controller.
Oh, I did buy an extra controller. What'd they get?
$1,284.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did buy the extra controller. I bought two.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see that.
I can see that. $1,284. Man. I got no, I didn't get the disc version. I got the digital version and an extra controller.
Man. Yeah, I don't know. That stuff's kind of crazy.
Good.
All right. One of them things. Well, hey, man, I appreciate you coming on. And
I appreciate you letting me come on and take over your airways and pontificate on whatever I felt like talking about.
So what do you got going on next for you? I usually try to, if you have anything upcoming that, send people to. Obviously, we're going to get them to subscribe to your channel if they're not already.
That would be the most appreciated. On Saturday nights, 8:30 Eastern, I do a live show. You're going to see the same thing tomorrow, just in me in a different T-shirt.
Yeah.
We're going to talk reselling mostly. Sometimes I go off on a tangent. I generally don't talk politics. I do use adult language, and we do have fun. It's not salacious in any way. Thank you. If you would like to come on over, it's youtube.com/the DC Picker. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, same thing, /the DC Picker.
Yep.
Eric, thank you so much for having me. Guys, thank you in the chat. Thank you so much for being here and listening. I appreciate you giving me the time to talk.
Yeah, now we usually try to, man, like when we have guests, we try to make it more about them than anybody else because we want to give you a platform and give you the chance to share what you have to bring to the community. Obviously, we share more than just reselling. And I know we've talked a lot of YouTube tonight, guys, but honestly, most of us, I've never avoided that topic because I think a lot of times in reseller world, there's so many people that have questions, so many people that don't really understand the other side of being monetized, don't understand that because the fact of the matter is there's a lot of YouTube resellers that aren't on that. They're not to that point yet. And they don't really get that. I've been fortunate. Sam's actually pretty smart when it comes to YouTube. I always tell him, I said, dude, you've only got like 20 some videos. You got almost as many subscribers as me. And like, I've got 150 and you've got 22. So if you had 150, we probably wouldn't be talking because you'd be so involved with YouTube. But we joke about that stuff, but I know it is something that people have questions. It's great to be able to answer that. And obviously you do have a wealth of knowledge reselling for 20 years.
Yeah.
So
it's almost so second nature that I go off on the tangents more naturally than talking about reselling because it has to be put in context. If you got a question, I probably have an answer. But if you were to be like, tell me about reselling, I'm like, I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to start.
There's so much. I mean, there is so much to learn. And obviously you do learn stuff. And I'm sure even now, I mean, things change.
Oh, I learn something new every day.
Yeah,
Literally every day. I got hit with a Vero. My last video I made, I got hit with a Vero that was separate. It was a European Vero. I didn't even know Europe had a separate set of Veros from the United States.
There you go.
Learn something new every day.
There you go. And I mean, that old quote, learners are earners. That's really what it is. I said, if you continue to learn, continue to grow. So that's what we try to do with this show, man. We try to be able to provide some value to people. And we're obviously thankful for having you on. I normally would ask Sam what he's got going on next. Guys, be on the lookout. Obviously, he's going on a Nintendo Switch hunt right now. Yeah. So be on the lookout for his video coming out about that because I'm sure it'll be on either Instagram or that. As for myself, I'm planning to drop a video tomorrow, and I'll be talking about the 1,000 sub giveaway. I actually have a really cool giveaway.
Nice.
For those of you guys that follow my channel, you know that I had bought a whole sporting goods store recently. The inventory, not all of it, but pretty much the back room. And so I have some new vintage starter jackets, and that's going to be a part of my giveaway if somebody wants to do that. So tomorrow, if you watch the video, I'll have details about all that. It's not going to be your average giveaway. I'm not going to let people just go in and drop a comment on a video they never watch. I'm going to require you to work a little bit. We're going to do a little bit of scavenger hunt in my videos this week. So that's what I got going on. Come and check the video tomorrow. I'll be sure to drop the link and let everybody know what's going on tomorrow. And check out the links down below to subscribe to Sam and John. And we do appreciate you guys for being here. Y'all have a good evening.
Thank you.